Is that like the background like sound from the movie Brazil in
Kinda,
the
kinda,
Ministry of
yeah,
Information?
yeah. I
You
think
can't hear my
it's a fan of my computer.
AC, right?
Mm-mm.
That's not what it is.
Nope, that didn't fix it. I don't know. We'll hop on. We'll see if anyone's on the stream and can tell us that we sound and look good.
Oh yeah, hold on one second.
It sounds like electronic chattering teeth.
Eric said there soon.
Nice.
It sounds fine.
Yeah.
You on your end that you're outputting is a good volume,
Okay.
but it's enough that I can hear small echo.
Of
So
me?
whatever line in you're recording in is definitely not the line in that you're sending us, which is fine. Like I said, it sounds fine,
Okay.
but it's not quiet. So as you were talking, I could hear all of us talking. So it's not like you've got a muted line going out, and I don't hear the wub or the click or anything.
Okay.
I don't
Interesting.
hear it either.
Weird. Okay. Could just be me. So I got us streaming today on 4 platforms.
Ayo.
Yeah. We got Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Mob Crush.
Mob Crush again.
Yeah, I'm trying the Mob Crush thing here because we're gonna see if it works or not. I think a new stream is always a good thing, but I don't know if it's working, so we're gonna find out. But in order to do a stream on Mob Crush, you have to actually you have to pick a game or category, and I couldn't find anything even remotely close to what we're doing. Like there's no podcast category or anything like that, so I just picked Dungeons and Dragons.
Nice.
It's like, hey, maybe someone will find us because they love Dungeons and Dragons.
I mean, I got some dice. I'm gonna roll some dice.
There you go. That'll work.
I've got the player's handbook is right there. There's a set of models right here. Those are all little minis from
Cute.
the beginner set.
Nice.
And then I bought like a big green dragon at one point too.
By
big, I mean
big
it's like
dragon.
this big. It's like 3 inches.
I don't really see. I don't see us streaming on Mob Crush just yet, so I don't really even see anything
They know you lied.
suggests.
Do they deem us not cool?
I guess I don't know.
You have not uploaded your character sheet, so you're definitely not Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna. It says connected on the caster page, so we're just gonna roll with it.
Yeah, man.
See what happens. You never know. So, we can get started here. Eric said he's on his way. But busy week, huh? Busy week in the world of trailers. We just got some solid trailers just dumped out like crazy. We had the new Dune trailer. We had the new Mandalorian trailer. I don't know when For All Mankind's trailer came out, but I didn't watch it until this week. And
It's been
a little while. Yeah. So pretty solid week. How did we feel about the Mandalorian? Yeah, right.
I think the more appropriate question is how many times did you watch The Mandalorian on loop?
Right.
I think I was responsible for at least 10 consecutive viewings on YouTube. Like it would play and I would just scroll back. Scroll.
Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah. Details. The scope just seems so much bigger than the first season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just watched them like, good Star Wars.
The thing that excited me in the moment of the trailer was the speeder bikes kind of dumping in, because that was one of those things that when I was a kid, the Return of the Jedi speeder bikes I always wanted more of, like more all the time of, and so it's really cool to have more of that to see.
Kids that let me.
There he is.
What the hell was I gonna say? It was gonna be something good.
Was
like the base classic little like swing set you get as a kid.
Yeah.
The old one.
Yeah.
And like on the end, there's like the thing that you could like rock back and forth on.
Uh-huh.
Did you guys have that one? I had that. But my playground or my swing set from my parents' house was essentially probably from like 1960. So I don't know if you guys had it.
Wow.
Rusted metal.
Yeah.
Hot steel.
I love
But
that.
I would jump on it as a little kid. I'd put on my irrigation boots. So they were like, like tall boots. They were like cool looking. They're really dopey, but I'd be like, because they're black and up to your knees. I'd be like, yeah,
Yeah.
these are my cool, like Han Solo boots. And then I'd get on that thing and I'd go,
I know
love it.
exactly what you're. I can see it in my head. I didn't have it, but I know.
yeah,
100%
I
what you're talking
will
about.
see if I can find it on my phonio.
That thing
That's
is
what the cool kids call a telephone.
Phonio. We have a big announcement to make though this week. Yeah, we can do a tail slate at the end. We'll get it right before we all stop recording. How's that sound? Oh, whoops! I just slapped it. Probably.
That's all.
If you're listening to the podcast right now on Apple, Spotify, or any other platforms, you will have already heard this. But for those of you sitting at home watching the stream right now, here's our new intro.
Oh.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, you guys probably can't hear it on your side, can you?
Are you telling me you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
I am serious. And don't call me
Pretend I
Shirley.
can hear it.
I got it! I got it! Don't forget it.
May the force be with you.
I'm an actor.
It's another episode of Nerds After Dark. Brought to you by Zima.
Sponsor. We got a new sponsor. It's Zima Malt Beverage. This is the swag that they sent me. I don't think that that's how you spell beverage, though. So I guess I'm not sure if maybe one of the executives had their kid do it.
It's
I
from
think it's,
wish.com.
I think there's a hyphen after the V. I think that's how you.
Okay, beverage. Yeah, it's fine. I wasn't gonna
I'm taking a hike up the beverage.
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 Being that they reached out to us and wanted us to take them on as a sponsor. I didn't want to be picky. I didn't want to be, hey, I think that
Oh,
that you spelled it wrong.
I mean, you don't bite the hand that feeds you.
Exactly.
Right. So I mean, that's why I put it in this nondescript cup, so you can't.
you don't bite the hand that zeems ya.
Yeah, we're all drinking our Zima out of different things. Mine's out of a LaCroix can. I know that Nico's got his coffee cup.
Mine's in an 805 beer bottle.
I was gonna say
I
yours is
mean,
just directly in a cozy.
We didn't want to jump the gun on it.
Yeah.
No spoilers in case
Yep,
anyone was
Arizona.
looking at our screen ahead of time. We didn't want to leak that out there.
Correct.
Don't mind the tea bag hanging up the back.
We'll
Teabag
have-
leak. These are all, hashtags that Zima.
It's my Zima tea bag.
Yeah.
Hashtag.
Yeah,
Oh, we should get that started.
we're gonna work with that, I think, a little bit. But we will have a little bit more from our
Like
sponsor
Bros,
later.
Ice and Bros, we could start the Zima tea
The
bag.
Z-bag.
old Z bag. Sounds delicious.
It'll refresh you from your A to your Z-bag.
Gold. Just gold. Somebody record this.
I don't want to say negative things about our new sponsor, but I don't know if I could think of anything like less refreshing than sticky malt beverage on a hot day. But might just be
Yeah.
me. Yeah, they're not paying us to say nice things about them.
I mean, you know it's a quality beverage when jamming a Jolly Rancher and it makes it instantly better.
Was yours grape? Were you a grape guy or watermelon?
Oh, no. Sour apple, baby.
Sour apple Zima.
The sour apple right in that Zima.
Ooh,
Let it sit on the bottom.
Watch it bubble from the bottom.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
duh.
yeah,
How do you do it?
yeah. Well,
Butt chug it. I only butt chugged it. But
that's
my butt loved it. Let me put it that way.
so.
I heard that's a good way to get real messy.
That's actually on the copy they sent me to. Your butt will love it. So
I mean,
How'd you get
It's got
that?
a long neck
Yeah.
and a thick bottle, so it's not going to go in. I mean, you're not going
Right.
to use it.
Yeah, exactly.
They sent me a lot of copies, so we won't barrage the
Well, you
people.
can't stick it straight in because it just stay like no,
You need some air so that it
there's
actually.
some science.
You
Yeah,
need
exactly.
you need a siphon. Yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah.
it'll just-
Well, I mean, it also the bottle had like ridges on it, right? So that's that's how the air gets in.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I drill a hole
kind of like Ruffles.
at the top. So it's like
Yes,
shotgunning. I like
right.
shotgunning.
So when you're butt chugging your ruffles, all the air.
No, I meant the ridges. That's what I was going for.
Ribbed for your butt pleasure.
Ruffles have
Welcome to
ridges.
Nerds After Dark.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Hopefully, the one person watching right now is.
I'm in a
Is
weird
Nick.
place tonight.
Yeah, so I never thought I'd see the day that Eric was the guy who was like, I can't watch the weirdest movie on earth this week, guys.
Yeah,
It's not gonna happen.
I know.
Yeah. But that's good. You're hustling hard, dude.
I'm just
Hustling.
shocked. He
They
hasn't
can
heard
have
us.
those theater pennies.
Yeah.
Drop me out them copper Lincolns, baby.
If theater is
In Lincolns. Oh, fives? No. Pennies.
No.
I saw a stand-up bit this week that was about teachers, but you could have just plug in any theater job, and it was kind of like the whole thing was all about just all the horrible things about the job, and then saying how much does it pay, and the answer was $10 every 4 years. All right, sign me up for 25 years.
Yeah.
That's kind of the theater, and the costumes just get older unless you've got someone like you fixing them up, all the time to make them better and smellier. And yeah, theaters never get cleaner. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. They just get doused in more vodka.
Right.
The costumes and the theater.
Yeah. And the director usually. Yeah.
Oh, it's opening night. He opened the bottle again. Here we go.
Just a loud pop from the back.
Yeah. Speaking of trailers,
Ray takes the cap off and throws it away.
pretty much, because vodka goes bad once you open it, so you got to get in
Yeah.
there. There was a trailer for I forget what they're calling it, the trial of the Chicago 7 or something like that. Anyways, it was like it's about the guys in the 60s who were put on trial for apparently inciting a riot in Chicago during kind of the civil rights era. And there were, I think it was Chicago 7, that sounds right. The reason I bring it up is because I was in a play for like 9 months about it, so I should know how many guys there were in it. But yeah.
Doc.
The Chicago 7, I think, is what it was. Yeah,
Easy,
exactly.
Bashful.
Yeah. So hopefully, anyways, that's how many it was. But the play was
Which one
9,
were
10
you?
months.
Were you
No, I was none of them.
bashful?
You want to know what my part was? This is a 2.5-hour play, a 2.5-hour courtroom drama that never leaves the courtroom. By the way,
Oh,
the
no.
entire show. I played one of the 3 marshals, who were the U.S. marshals who were in the thing, the bailiffs, basically. How many lines do you think I had?
4.
None.
0, correct. And you know how many minutes of stage time I had?
All of it.
Yep. And that was also the amount of stage time I had to act like I was interested. So if
Like the hands on your.
Let
on
me
your
see. Let's see
Yeah.
let's see the face.
Oh, it was like that.
Just reach
Oh no, she did.
Like,
no,
I
Matt,
guess-
we need you to not talk. I think I.
And definitely don't say things like that. Yeah,
Was
Like-
this a paid gig?
sort of.
Sort of.
It was something like
pennies.
it was like it was $60 every weekend or something. You know what I mean? It was something dumb.
Rusty Lincoln.
Yeah. But shows every single night for 6 months or whatever. It was something bonkers. But there was I doubt that he's. Well, I won't bring up that story. I was gonna bring up the story until you guys off the air. But it was just so crazy to think if I became any version of a good actor, it was because of that play. Because when you have to act engaged for hours at a time. It is hard.
They say the best thing to do for an actor is listen.
Exactly.
Listen.
That's true.
So that's all you.
It's also the
have to
most boring thing to do.
I
do.
have this same vision of you, like about 3 months in. You've gone through the process. You've gone through the legwork. You know, you've got your. I'm gonna look here. I'm gonna look here. I'm gonna do this. And then
Mhm.
there's one night you eat Taco Bell,
Yeah.
and you're like, oop,
Mhm.
oop.
Mhm.
Matt, you're moving around a lot.
There was there were two things that happened that were pretty crazy. So the guy playing the judge is this old guy who was actually he was in the original Battlestar. He played the Doctor in the original Battlestar Galactica,
Oh yeah.
and he was a billion years old by the time we did this play, and he was usually pretty good. Like usually remembered his lines, but one night, right like in the middle of a scene, the lights go out and it comes back up, and there's just a time passage. But when the lights went down, he went to the dressing room and just left. So the lights come back up, and he's nowhere to be found. He's got the first line of the scene. So we're all standing there going, and I mean, he's 90, and we were like, you move fast. So I ran back, and I was like, hey, that wasn't the end of the scene. He goes back in. And then there was another scene. There was a bunch of fight scenes, and one of the guys, the one bailiff who did have lines, was an older guy. And in the fight scene, he was pretending to punch somebody, and he hit his bicep on the end of a chair and snapped his bicep right here. And so it shriveled up into his arm. So his bicep's gone. His skin's just flappy hanging. Yeah, I know. It was crazy. So for the rest of the... Yeah.
Your time to shine, Matt.
Well, so the next show... We didn't talk about who was going to take his lines. So at one point, like, all of us just kind of said them. We're just like throwing it in there, and yeah.
You go.
So I ended up having one line for a duration of the run, and it was, I think it was, sit down.
Oh.
No.
Thank you. Thank you guys.
Were you like extra giddy that night when you got off stage?
I was so nervous for 2 words, and I was like, sit. So I practiced it.
What's that Seinfeld episode where George is like an extra in a movie or something, and he has to go, man, these pretzels are making me thirsty, and he's just like, how do I say it? And trying to figure out every inflection. Yeah, were you doing that?
That's great. Yeah, it was this. Sit down. Oh, too much tea.
Sit down.
Sit down. Sit down, or is that just too many D's? Sit down. And Matt, it's time to go. Okay. And then you just do it. You just roll with it. Make it happen. I think it was good, though. I think I did say all rise once. Yeah. Nailed it.
Little self 5.
Yeah. Okay, the story I was going to tell you, though. There was one guy who was one of the bailiffs, and he was like 6'4". He was super tall, and he would constantly play with his junk. And so finally one night, everybody was like talking about who was going to tell him, and somehow I got nominated. And so I was like, hey, you're like always playing with your wiener. Like, can you stop?
Like in it, like did he have his hands in his pockets and he was just like
No. Like he would just be because we had to stand with our hands like crossed in front of us. That was like the way to stand if you're a bailiff, apparently. And he would just constantly be pushing it around with his finger in front of him. So I had to tell him, and his response was not, what? I didn't notice? Or it wasn't like, oh, yeah, I do that. He was like, no one can see me do that.
What did he say?
He's like, nobody can see me do that.
You're like, so if you're a
Everybody.
scientist and you were just told a thing
Yeah.
that was being observed, and you go, oh, no, that's not being observed. You go, well, you were told that it is being observed by someone.
yeah, if I'm telling you, that means
Therefore.
I saw you do it.
Yeah.
Other people know about it.
Well, yeah,
And
audience
I was
members.
nominated, guy. We all had a discussion.
There's a cast of like 32 people, and I got it. So clearly we had a discussion about this. So let's go.
And they
was a
like me
meeting.
the least.
Yeah.
So here I am.
Yeah, it didn't go over well, and he didn't stop. So
He doubled down.
yeah, 2
Gave him a
fingers.
whole fist.
Yeah,
And that man was
That
Don
became
Johnson.
the
Yeah.
most important part of the show.
right. He went on to star in a number of movies.
Lots of pocket pool during the play, huh?
And they changed it from the Chicago 7 to the trial of the Chicago 3.
Oh boy.
Yeah. It was just him at the end of the show, just standing there.
One man show.
Please stick around for our one-man show, Dingleberries.
Pool.
I love the response of no one could see that.
I
That's not where we go with this conversation.
there was
The
no
last next sentence you can say. That's the only thing you can't say to follow up.
Yeah.
You can't do this thing.
But we each had our places in the stage, and so it wasn't quite an in the round, but it was sort of like it was almost a half circle, and so but the stage went up into the audience, and so he was the guy who was chosen to be right next to the judge, so he was standing in front of the judge the entire play, and so it was just like if there was one place where a person could see everything, it was right there. So. Amazing stuff.
Oh man.
No one can see that.
I want to hear like an allegation or like have one of the bailiffs from like Judge Judy get fired for doing that. That'd be pretty great. Right? It'd be like a BuzzFeed article you read or some crap.
No one cares if you get fired from a theater show for playing pocket pool.
But once you got on Judge Judy, you cannot pull that crap. She will not stand for it.
What are you stop touching it?
What are you
Is this
doing?
a character decision, or you just need to go to the bathroom, man? Just like we can figure out a way for you to slide off stage if you gotta use the bathroom.
Yeah, if that's what we're talking
I
about
bet
here.
that my character is a pervert.
He's a habitual fondler.
Do you have any lines? Nope.
He plays trouser billiards.
Yeah,
professionally.
that would be amazing if he was like, well, I'm the East Area Rapist in my mind, so I kind of have to play that out somehow.
And the Scranton Strangler.
Yeah, yeah. Or Original Night Stalker. I haven't decided which I want to be, but we'll get there.
The third living descendant of Jack the Ripper. You know.
Yeah.
I've got
So
lots of
good.
ideas.
Jack the Gripper.
What are you painting over there tonight, Eric?
Fingers.
Those are fingers.
Sorry, I'm in a reel.
So this is week 2 of Eric painting costume pieces during the
You know, it's literally the same thing. Like, so I love that I'm like telling you guys I'm working like crazy getting the show done, and then all I've shown you is like the same 2 things.
yeah. All you've painted so far is fingers and an orc.
So yeah, from your perception, you're like, why is this guy not done yet?
He's really a slacker.
Yeah.
We need to talk about Eric. He's really not good at what he does.
Can't even watch Brazil and paint.
Awful.
Yeah, how long are you gonna keep this excuse going? At least another week or 2?
Another week for sure. Yeah.
Well, and so when we decide to do Lord of the Rings, Brian, don't start pulling some kind of I gotta paint my truck crap, okay?
Yeah.
I gotta paint lizard fingers.
No, it's gonna be like, I gotta make my window bigger so I can jump out of it.
It's almost how I felt about Brazil, but we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah. Oh man.
Good
So
to win.
the
Yeah.
the Mandalorian trailer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, back on track.
So
Yeah,
good.
no. So this is the reason I watched it over and over and over, and why I think it's super good is obviously you're super stoked for the show,
Oh yeah.
but whoever cut that trailer did enough of a really good job of just telling it was like a highlight reel of the season of stuff that we want, because obviously you get the planets. It opens with the planets, right?
Mhm.
And then instead of seeing the Razor Crest TM slide through like perfectly, I'll tell you why I did that in a second. But why it slide through like that, and then you notice that it's a little broken down.
Mhm.
You know, one of the engines is having a problem. The back door is open and it's flopping. Like, oh wait, hold on, I'm in now.
I've
Wait
had
for
that
it.
problem.
Yeah, right.
Floppy back door.
And then then there's the voice of the armorer coming in talking about the child
Mhm.
and like the Legend of Mandalore, and they bring in the Jedi, and then the rumors of who the individual was standing next to the little igloo, just like wildfire over the internet about who that was, and like because the actress is a WWE star. Yeah, it's when the armorer is talking about the race of an old sorcerer race known as Jedi, and the voiceover is on a scene where a cloaked woman is standing next to, I think they're on like an icy-ish planet, so that's why I said igloo.
okay.
But it's a white building, and then he's walking through the crowd, and then she like fades back. So yeah, the rumor of who that is, because people recognize the star right away, but then if you go to like IMDb, there's no listing. Like she's there, but there's no character listing. It's completely blank. I just checked to see if they did it. So you get that intro, and then you get some more voiceover work. You get some great cinematic, like location-based cuts, and then
Nice.
it cuts to what we all want, which is the child doing something crazy funny and perfect, and like instant GIF material,
Yeah.
like instant meme material of him seeing the little tracer darts and then going, nope, and going out. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
So great.
That's the part that like I mean, laughed out loud
Mhm.
instantly, and that's what caused me to like whoop, 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 rewind it, because it's like I want to sit through all that, pick up these little nuance things just to see that scene again, and then whoop, back it right back up again.
It was fun because it's also kind of a fun callback to a piece of armor, like of his suit that we know now. And so you kind of, they don't have to explain it, you're not going to see it. It's just cool to just have that moment for the
Like I said,
fans.
whoever, I hope they work. I mean, I'm assuming they work with the directors, but to cut together 8 shows, right? It's 8 episodes this season or whatever, into a trailer that probably touches on stuff so far out that, you know, I'm sure it doesn't open with the Razor Crest having issues, TM. But I mean, yeah, you got the X-wings, you got
Love the X-Wings moment.
collapsing, uncollapsing the TIE fighters, you got the speeder bikes like we talked about, doing stuff that speeder bikes haven't done before, aka gaining and losing elevation.
Popping wheelies.
Yeah,
Too.
Do they
It
pop
was-
wheelies?
That was Sudeikis's.
Yeah, it was just
It's good.
It's exactly what I wanted from the Mandalorian. I didn't want some stupid trailer where it was just like voiceover and then you just get like a flash of the helmet and then it says coming soon. Like no, material. Give me Mandalorian meat.
At least a little
I
bit
want
of
to eat it.
man meat.
I was saying the other day, because like I never, since the Mandalorian, I finished season 1. I haven't used Disney Plus at all. And I was saying that day, I was like, I should really just cancel that, because like I don't ever watch it at all. And then I saw this trailer and I said out loud, nope, not canceling that.
Yeah.
Nope.
I'm sure they knew. They were like, hey, Mandalorian. I'm sure Disney was like, you gotta make sure this
Yeah.
show keeps
Yeah.
It's on your shoulders.
It would be nice though if
money you need to figure it out.
if they gave us just a Mandalorian rate, because I've never watched a single other thing on Disney Plus. So it would be nice if it was just like, hey, $2.99 and all you get is a Mandalorian. Be like, cool.
Fine
Done.
with that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
imagine that it'll come out. Well, no, it's Disney. Never mind. I was gonna say, I imagine it'll come out on like Blu-ray or something, but I doubt it will now that it's
Put it in
Disney
the
Plus.
vault.
Yeah. Or they'll sit on it for a couple of years, but maybe they'll make it available for the holidays. That'd be cool.
So the child, when he activates the darts first before he closes himself up.
No,
right?
that's Mandalorian
Oh.
activated the darts.
Oh, okay.
It's when
So you see him light up.
Yeah, he's in like the Coliseum or whatever, the boxing match, and those guys pull guns on him, and he just kind of goes "Doot," and like activates them. But the kid knows what's going on, so he's like, "No, I'm out of here. See you later. It's about to get nuts."
Has Nerf made Mandalorian crap yet? Because Nerf needs to get on that.
I think so. I think they do have like a 2 or 3 but I think it was ripped off the Iron Man, because I know that they had like the repulsor.
Yeah.
And I think they could
That
be
I
like
know nothing about.
Yeah,
That Nerf
yep.
toy.
Amazon.com. Okay.
Nerf Mandalorian.
Oh, and while you guys are looking up, I have a hot gossip for who that character is, that Jedi character.
Ooh.
Yeah?
Is it a Jedi?
Her name is Flaz Kaplugi.
I thought you had real information. Get out of here.
Well, that's her.
But you know that's gonna be the first
Yeah.
thing you hear. Is
Well,
her name, which is gibberish.
Yeah.
And everyone will go, ooh, I wonder what that
I wonder what Flaz is like.
So the leading rumor is people freaked out and they thought that was Ahsoka Tano, who is played by Rosario Dawson, but it's not Rosario Dawson. It's another actress The leading gut rumor right now is that that's Sabine from Rebels, who's a Mandalorian, or who I don't know if she's Mandalorian per se, but she has donned the helmet and has
Yeah, she
prescribed to the.
Oh,
to
gotcha.
the
She has like the
theology.
purple outfit.
yeah.
Her
Yeah.
mommy's in Clone Wars.
Gotcha. I remember that. Yeah.
This is a sentence I never thought I would say.
Her mommy's.
When I was watching that
Yeah,
trailer,
no.
like, do you guys watch Family Guy at all?
Mm-mm.
Not yours.
Barely. A touch.
Well, it's like, you know, Quagmire, the horny neighbor, has a thing for Lois, and they do these scenes periodically where Lois will be doing something and he's creeping on her through the window, and he is going, whoa, whoa. So I was like basically doing that, watching that trailer. You know, every time they said this is the way, I'm like,
Yeah. Gasp.
So this is Sabine
Okay.
from Clone Wars. So they had her hood on.
Oh, it's a Funko. I'm looking
Yeah, of course,
down
it's a
and I don't
Funko
see
set,
it. I
yeah.
look up.
So,
There it is.
They had her hood on because her hair is a very distinct part, but then here's her with like the gear.
Gotcha.
Uh,
Okay.
She's a graffiti artist.
Yeah, her whole thing is color, image, graffiti, etc., etc.
but isn't it like bad to take the helmet off?
Yeah, they made that up for the show. That was,
Yeah,
I don't
that's-
think
that's the-
I don't know well, and I guess Boba Fett, they just went. I think that's probably where
It makes
started.
sense
They
though
went, oh,
if your actor is David Prowse, but when it's what's his name? He's a good-looking dude and he's a great actor, and you think, oh well, we should
I don't
take his
think
helmet
he's
off
ever
here and
actually
there.
in the suit. I think he just records all the lines.
Be
Well,
cool.
I think the way that if I'm trying to recall back to Clone Wars and stuff is that Mandalore, like, it was a whole planet, and all of it's not like they shot the whole planet stuff where everyone's wearing a helmet. They had like a general and a captain, and they all removed the helmet. I think what they're trying to pitch with the Mandalorian and this division of Mandalorians is kind of like the Deus Ex, like the super stringent to the code type devout Mandalorians that, right, this is the way, helmet, no one sees you without your helmet on, versus other people are like, yeah, we're Mandalorian, but you know, it's hot in here, so
right.
I'm taking
Hot
this
and
off.
shit is heavy.
Yeah.
Oh, and if that's Sabine, she'll be like, dude, you gotta like chill out, man.
Yeah.
Here, have some Corellian space juice, dude. Just chill.
She's very, I'm Mandalorian, but I don't, but they're like, my parents were Mandalorian, so I mean, I'm into it, but like, I'm not really.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah, like
Right.
I made it my
Sense.
own. I do my own thing.
Yeah. But that's the rumor that that's who that is in the
Makes
in the
sense.
clip.
I love it.
Yeah. Which would be super dope. I mean, yeah, roll rebel type stuff in
Yeah.
there. That's awesome.
I think, she was way before this rumored that she would be one of the like clone or characters from another Star Wars thing coming in.
Well,
Yeah, they tie it in.
I wonder if they're talking about Jedi, so you think we're going to see some Jedi? Supposedly there wasn't any Jedis at this point, but they could always change that.
If they roll in the rebel stuff,
There are Jedis.
where are they? Right there. These two guys.
Hmm.
There are still Jedis. Like there were Jedis that escaped
There's
the order.
Skleek Plango. There's Tundor Oktorgi.
Well, you know, they talked about taking the child back to his own kind, so I'm like, okay, so hopefully Yaddle survived, you know, the Clone
Yeah,
Wars and Revenge of
Yaddle.
the Sith. So hopefully,
Yaddle.
Yaddle.
Yeah.
So they could take him back to Yaddle.
I think this sort of bugs me though, and it's that thing we've talked about it before. That again, they talk about the Jedi like nobody knows who they are. A race of sorcerers called the Jedi. It wasn't that long ago, and it still bugs me like that somehow 35 years has erased them from the memory. Like the Mandalorian's at least 40, so he would have been around when there were still
That's
Jedi.
like 1985, and we're all like, "What are you talking about?"
Right, it's like a race
Margaret
of
Thatcher?
people.
What?
Right.
What's a cassette tape?
Although I did see like a man on the street thing where people were being asked when 9/11 happened, and people were like, "Oh, like 2015."
Oh,
Yeah, so you know, I get it. Yeah, so I get it, but it just seems weird that if they were like the Guardians of the Galaxy, that nobody knows who they are, especially the Mandalorian. Like if he was a Mandalorian and they had a war with them at one point, wouldn't he know who they are? I don't know.
Well,
I just
only
get
Clone
weirded
Wars
out by that.
And the Jedi fought in the Clone Wars, which
Right.
was like the
Yeah.
biggest war ever in the
The
entire
only-
game.
And it wasn't that
The
long
only
ago.
way that I justify it is Palpatine, when he did Order 66, I'm wondering if that also didn't have like a very nefarious component where he like expunged history.
Oh, I think he does. As
Yeah,
well.
like he go like they burn down the temples, they destroy the library. I'm wondering if
So a little bit
it's
of a
one of those-
Chairman Mao sort of thing, like wipe out
Yeah,
the
like,
history of
he
China,
tries
call
to
it, yeah,
erase it from like the literal history.
yeah,
And if you're in these outer rim type places, you know, maybe you didn't even. It's
Yeah,
like
you never
it's like when
interacted
people
with
who've never been to a
Mhm.
big city, you try to explain to them what a subway is or how it like
Yeah.
how to read a subway map, and they're just like, nope, it's not a thing. Like, well,
Mhm.
it is.
You
and, yeah.
telling me there's some metal worm under the earth?
Yeah, eat you up.
That's what I
and
said.
It's
What I-
down every 2 stops.
I think the metal worm's name is Squeebish. I'm
Squeebish.
trying to come up with some good name. Swedish Tattoo. Yeah, he's from
yeah,
the planet Woo Woo 5.
That's how I get past like the people not knowing the Jedi is. I'm wondering if there wasn't some sort of like
Mhm.
historical purge that was part of that order where they.
Gotcha.
I mean, that's very Sith, right? Is
Yeah.
to just like
So
disappear.
Sith.
So Sith, bro. Just
So
like
Sith.
wipe out like Jedi. Nah, that happened, bro.
I'm gonna check the
Well, I'm
feed
sure
real quick.
people
Keep
have taken
talking.
The Emperor and done the thug life thing with him, right? I mean, that was done on everything.
It's gotta have happened.
Palpatine has to have a thug life meme, and his would be the best.
Yeah, but
Yeah, and it's soon. It's October 30th, so we don't have to wait that long.
right. It's definitely funny because I don't know if the timing is perfect or not, but when they're like, we're canceling Halloween from COVID, like, cool, I've got the Mandalorian,
Yeah.
I'm good to go. You little jerks can stay home. I'll watch.
Maybe because Halloween's canceled, they'll give us like maybe they'll launch like at least 2 episodes the first week or something. Give
Like
us
a
give us
double?
2. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's definitely. I know this house is doing a marathon, like October 24th. We're definitely gonna punch through the whole thing. Yeah,
Are
Are
absolutely.
both of you into it?
That's one of my
Oh, yeah.
greatest victories.
In life.
She's a huge fan.
Marriage
Oh, yeah.
success.
Oh, it's a marriage
Nice.
win.
Nicely done.
Yeah. Yeah, no, well, the thing is, I think we talked about this when we were talking about the Mandalorian too, is that it's the child.
Oh
It's-
yeah.
It's not the lore. It's not
Yeah.
like the lore is just stuff that happened, but they did such a great job with the child and the character of the child and like the humor and the funny and the
Mhm.
serious, but the not serious. Like that is such a great build that it's definitely pulling in these peripheral fans of like, you know what, I don't care about. You don't have to tell me what an assassin droid is or why the IG units are a certain way, but if that little baby gets punched by Jason Sudeikis one more time, it's gonna burn this place down.
Well, it's Jon Favreau. I mean, he basically launched the Marvel universe as we know it now. He didn't make
Mhm.
the very first one, but it's like he's good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, random thought. It'd be super funny to go as a stormtrooper and get one of those little like wiggle ball things that wiggle, and then put that in like a little satchel bag and be that for Halloween.
Have that
Just
as-
occasionally punch the bag.
That's a good idea, actually. But no Halloween. Womp womp.
It's a mask.
Yeah. I know.
Fair
Seems
enough.
You
fine.
can mask up.
For a
Yeah,
mask
I'm
under your
sure
mask.
No one's gonna party on Halloween this year.
Yeah.
Well,
no
Everyone's
one
gonna stay
anywhere.
away.
Said you can't, so you better not.
Eric, they said you can't, so no one's going to.
Eric.
I wonder if people are ever gonna have parties again. I wonder if we're all just kind of like, this is kind of how we wanted it in the first place.
Yeah.
I
I
just
think a lot
never
of
had to
people are
go
like
anywhere
this.
ever. This is great. This feels
Well, yeah, it's
great.
like the whole social distance thing. I'm like, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
don't want to be near people anyway. It's cool.
They're like, hey, if anything, fist bump people. I'm like, that's awesome. I love that idea.
I love that when we're like, okay, don't shake hands, and people are like, okay, what's next on my list of things I have to do when I'm close to another human being? Okay, I'm
Yeah.
at number 7. I didn't think I would get to elbow smack, but that's where we're at.
Must touch. Must.
Must make contact, can't not. Like at that point, it's like, I think we can just give up.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
how's
we can
Biden
just-
gonna survive if he can't touch people?
Aww.
Oh man, Yeah, it's true though. But I don't think you can
He
get
can still
COVID from
smell their
smelling
hair.
hair.
6 feet away.
Whereas Trump's like, screw that, I can still harass them.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily need to touch them to harass them.
Yeah, I can do it verbally or tweeting.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
other
and-
trailer, Dune, the Dune trailer. Did we watch this as well? Yes.
Power of Dune.
Yes.
if I may speak to it, to this trailer in particular, was like I've seen the original Dune, I think like 2 or 3 times. This trailer was so good that I mentally said to myself, I need to watch the movie again.
I
Probably
watched
should.
Dune and Mandalorian back to back.
Ooh, that's a good time.
Yeah, and I could barely sit still. But I mean, I just like Denis Villeneuve. Is that how you say it?
Mhm.
He's becoming one of my favorite directors.
Oh yeah.
The dude's so good.
Yeah.
I mean, look at his lineup. Things like, what was the one with what's her name?
Yep.
With-
Nailed it.
Arrival.
With Squeamish
Yeah.
Bond.
McDeeby.
Arrival.
Yeah.
It was one of those movies I didn't know anything about. I didn't even know he directed it, and I walked into it and I was like, "What is this?" It was
He has an
so
eye
good.
for atmosphere
Yeah.
that is
Mhm.
unbelievable. It's like
Yeah.
it's beyond cinematography. It's every single one of his films. Like watching the Dune trailer, my arms felt itchy,
Mhm.
like dry because of the sand, and watching Arrival, you felt like that creepiness of like something there. Like,
But
yeah,
Dune
his-
and Blade Runner, that's so different from Sicario, and so being able
Yeah.
to do that kind of a movie as well, do a modern day Heat, and then also pull off a new Dune that's some range, man.
Yeah, his movies, they just, I don't know, you really feel the world. Like, again, all his movies have scope.
Hmm. Yeah.
You know, I don't know anything about Dune. Like, I think I may have seen the original, but I don't remember any of it.
Mhm.
I'm like, holy crap, I don't know
It's
what's
Sting
happening.
in underwear.
All right.
we had Sting
The whole time?
and
I mean, other
Sean
stuff
Young
happens.
Yeah.
and what's his name?
Kyle
The guy
MacLachlan.
from McLaughlin from Twin Peaks.
Hmm.
And then there is some other big people. I mean, it was a big cast.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people that worked it out.
Captain Picard is in it.
Really?
Oh, right.
Wow.
Jean-Luc.
I don't think I've
Kind
ever
of
seen it.
No, he's got like the same one. He maybe has slightly more hair.
And it's a little tannish brown. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. No, it's the trailer was so good that it immediately was like, do I own Dune? Hold on. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
I gotta watch this again because the story is so deep in and of itself. But like, I say that, and then you're gonna watch it, and you're gonna be like, this is stupid. Like, this is just like one of the earliest forms of science fiction, and it's got flaws.
Yeah.
Man. It was
David
written.
Lynch directed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, God.
And he's like, it's the one that he like regrets doing. Even while he was making it, he knew, like it just, it's like a lot of times it's working, more recently where they take some very artsy director and they throw them a blockbuster. They say, oh, you make a blockbuster.
Mm.
Here's all the money in the world. But like he got that and he was like, it's fine. I think Dune's a hard story to.
Well, it's also the
Yeah.
novel's like 700 something pages. I mean, that's hard to pare down into 2 hours.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so this one is going to be a 2-parter.
Maybe I should. Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
the first book, but it's 2 parts. So
Gotcha.
Maybe I should read the book.
You got some free time?
I'm working. I'm still at home, so yeah. I'll just listen. I'll listen, read it.
Well, the first, I was a little too harsh on the first movie. When was it made? Like 81?
A billion
Somewhere
years
there?
ago.
So put that like time frame in your brain about when it was made.
I don't want to anymore.
Yeah. I'm about
But just-
done with 80s sci-fi movies.
Yeah.
But
Seriously.
why?
But put that in your perspective box when,
Yeah.
you're watching it. But the story is super good, but it's very science fiction. It's almost funny too, to Eric's point a while back about there's a series of Clone Wars that's all about deregulating the international or the galactic banks.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a very heady topic with sci-fi smashed in on top. Dune is like that. It's got like this international trade regulations and clan stuff in space.
Uh-uh.
In the space.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like It's one of those like, it's gonna be a fun
So
sci-fi.
it's like
and,
George
just
Lucas long
crap,
winded.
man.
Yeah.
But it's just like, that time period. I'm going to call it the class of Blade Runner, when Blade Runner was the benchmark, and it has so many friggin' problems. And then all these other movies, I feel like they watched Blade Runner. I'm like, I'm going to do something kind of like that, but my story's going to be deeper,
Yeah.
And then we get, sounds like Dune and Brazil,
Mm-hmm.
and what else?
Well, there was a lot of in between those conversations. There was just so much cocaine and other things that it just was. They just got to the point where we're just like, let's just make it. Yeah, it was very Wolf of Wall Street,
I keep
but
wanting
in
to
a
say
film
things about
studio.
Brazil, but I gotta wait.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll have the conversation for sure.
Sorry.
No, it's hey.
Now your lizard fingers are more important.
Good to go. If anything, it's good to, because we talked about how it was.
No, please paint your lizard fingers. Don't worry
we
about the
talked about how it
podcast.
was
We'll be fine.
Like an art school reference, and it's funny because the thing that I noticed right away. This is a super brief Brazil reference. The music that plays is the same music that is on the front of. I think of like Quiplash or something in the Jackbox games.
I don't know what any of those words mean. What?
So
He's talking about
like
that,
another Star
that
Wars
squeamish lady.
So do you remember way back in high school they had You Don't Know Jack. It was like it was a 10-question quiz game that was a little quirky and a little weird.
Yeah.
Some people had it. It was like, and so that is made by, or was bought by and purchased by a company called Jackbox. Well, they released these like party packs to like Xbox and Steam and stuff like that, and they're up to like 6 now, but they're great. They're these nice little like 10-minute or less games, party games. But one of the new games has this background music, and it's kind of like, it's kind of little like elevator music stuff. And I'm like, this isn't bad. And then the movie started. I'm like, where do I know this? Like, why am I having flashbacks?
Yeah.
Yeah, like why am I here? Like I know
It's in more than one movie. It's in other movies for sure.
Yeah, well, and I wanted to look up and see if this is where it started, and then it has been then adopted by other films, or if they borrowed it from something else too. Like Chariots of Fire or something. Like I don't know if this is literally Brazil where it started, and then it was good to go.
Well, the whole movie is named after a song that was written in like the 30s, and then there was a bunch of different. Yeah.
All I know is I was about 15 minutes in when Eric texted us last night, and I was like, son of a
should I do this or not? Yeah.
It's like I've already committed.
I'm already invested. Yeah.
But I was afraid if I stopped, I wouldn't start again.
But we'll get there, folks. It's worth talking about.
Oh, yeah. It's worth
the hype machine. We gotta get that hype machine going for
little everyone listen.
A little clickbait.
Yeah.
We're talking about Brazil. Just kidding, everybody.
Stay tuned next week for Lizard Fingers.
I know, sorry, millennials and Gen Zers. I know you want to hear about Brazil, but the Terry Gilliam early '80s movie.
Did you? I know, Brian, you're watching Lovecraft. Are you watching Lovecraft, Matt?
No, I have not resumed after episode 1 yet. So
I decided I'm gonna wait. I only watched the first 2. I decided I'm gonna wait until they're all out and then just binge it.
Yeah, it's I'm back in, so we're caught up, and
nice.
Is it episode 4 now or 5?
4 or 5, I think. Yeah, okay. But it's very Twilight Zone-y, and but like we watched because we were doing some stuff the last couple of weekends, so we kind of got out of sync. So we watched 2 of them last night to get caught up, and man, it's taken some daring risks that happen, and then you see it and you go, I did not think that was a thing you could do. And then like the next episode, there's another thing you're just like, all right, now I'm in now because I have no idea what's gonna happen every week, but I want to see it because this is bonkers. Like it's cohesive, which is great. Like it is cohesive, but it's just nutty the whole time. And you can't even, like, I know what's going on. You don't. I promise you don't.
But like in a Brazil way, or?
No, in a great way.
Okay, good.
Brazil's like, I want to watch the world burn way.
Yeah.
you'll get to a point where you're like, I know what's going on, and then something happens.
Excited.
You know what? I don't know. That was it. I don't know what the hell's going on now.
cool.
And so it's a great ride. So yeah, but doing it in a binge,
Yeah.
that's gonna be
Gotta be a lot. Yeah.
it's gonna be a great one. But
I just binged For All Mankind, season 1, and so that one definitely not. I have no idea what's going on, but definitely I think I've got this figured out, and then nope, JK, and but in like a really highly tangible and realistic way, because it still takes place in the 60s, 70s. It's historical fiction, so there's a lot of that going on. But every time you kind of think you got your head wrapped around like where it's going, it just kind of takes you in a different direction. It's great. You guys would love it. I know Brian loves it.
I have seen it.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's on my list of stuff.
Yeah.
It
There's
is
that,
worth
and
it.
then people
Yeah.
recommended Away on Netflix, which
Yeah.
is it's got Hilary Swank and Mars.
The competitor to the show we were just talking
The
about.
competitor.
Kinda,
Yeah, exactly.
Is that a show or is it just a movie?
It's a
The Away
series.
House?
It's a series.
Oh, it is a show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't started yet because we got a
Swanky.
backlog of stuff we got to watch.
Hilary
We got to
Swank's
finish
Away.
Lovecraft. We got season 2 of The Boys just came out, so
Mhm.
I gotta watch that.
got to sneak into that one again.
I watched the pilot of Away.
Do not sneak into boys. Don't do that.
He won't be
Yeah.
happy
Make,
Give
your,
about
me
it.
make your
advice.
presence known. You make loud noises. Let them know you're coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen Away, like the pilot, it's got potential, but it's a rough pilot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
So is it like the 3-episode
Which one?
try thing? Like
Yeah.
give it 3 episodes to see if you're in.
Yeah, I think so. Like I'm gonna give it
The
3.
boys.
I'm gonna patent that.
Okay, which
3
one?
episode
Away.
try.
Swanky Away.
I haven't watched The Boys at all. I need to. That's
me
on the
neither.
list.
I did watch. Did I tell you guys I tried? I abandoned it, and I know I'll go back to it. But I watched Hunters on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the cold open, which I thought was brilliant, so well done. And then we got to the whole kid getting like picked on in the alley bit, and I was like, okay, I'm out for now. Like I'll come back to it probably, but I just wasn't digging the whole teenage high school angst vibe at all, and I was just
Oh,
like,
sure.
not what I wanted to watch tonight. So I just switched over and watched something else. So hopefully
That's
that
not
goes
a
away.
thing very much.
So I watched
Okay.
some Pushy Brewster.
Yeah. I
We'll
watched
save by
the
the bell.
He-Man movie. Yeah,
You gotta keep watching.
yeah, I'll
That-
get in there for sure.
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah,
just
I watched.
wasn't
Speaking
digging
of
it.
He-Man, I watched Creed 2 on the airplane.
Oh, nice.
Not bad.
Yeah, Michael B.
Not
Jordan,
great.
that version
Creed
Huh?
1 was better.
is Michael
Yeah,
B. Jordan.
It's Michael B.
Yeah,
Jordan.
okay.
But this is the one where Ivan Drago's son, like basically he gets the title and then immediately gets called out because like when Drago got defeated, that was like national shame.
Right.
So this is him trying to rebuild that.
Mhm.
I have many issues with it. My major one issue with it is in the first 30 minutes he fights Drago, and you're like,
Oh, wow.
still got another hour and some
Yeah,
change, so he
yeah.
definitely loses or something. Like he doesn't win. Like
Yeah.
But you know he's gonna have to have like the same arc as
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was
Gotta
like,
lose before he can win.
Yeah.
yeah, they're like, they bring him in and he's challenged to a fight.
That's
Like,
great.
all right, well he's gonna lose or some crap's gonna happen because he's not gonna win this fight and the movie's gonna end in half an hour.
Yeah.
Well, he's got to lose early so they can queue up the like training montage.
Yeah, you
Also
gotta have one
that,
of
which
those.
they definitely.
Oh,
did.
yeah, big time.
Was Stallone in this one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. I love that about Stallone.
100.
It just doesn't mind.
Yep.
Doesn't mind just being like, we're gonna see me getting craggier with every movie, but I'm gonna do all the same stuff.
Many rusty Lincolns as I can.
Yeah.
He's like, "You're gonna pay me how much?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
I don't have to fight this
Rusty
time."
Lincolns.
He's not bad though. He's embraced the Rocky character.
Oh yeah.
It's really good. In that sense, it's just the writing of like, oh, there's a fight. Like he doesn't win, so let's just
And
fast
then
forward.
like,
this
there's
line.
another fight. Yeah.
Yeah, I
He
don't
wins.
I don't think Stallone phoned it in. Like he went for it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Um,
Like I said, that my only gripe was like
Yeah.
Was there a Carl Weathers ghost? In either
Like a Jedi ghost. Oh, that'd
my
be so
gosh,
great.
I
That'd be so
really-
great.
That would be amazing.
He's so
thought the
popular
Everyone would
now.
be so pissed off.
Oh, I would love that.
That'd
I
be
thought the
wonderful.
first movie was better.
It had more substance to it for sure.
Yeah.
I need to
The
look and
second
see
one
the.
kind of felt like a money grab, in some
Or
respects.
like Crud instead of Creed.
Well, they did the J.J. Abrams method of taking and just retelling the same story.
Well, he's never done that. What are you talking about?
If you can make money doing it.
You're right. I don't know what I'm talking about. I've been butt chugging apples. I'm not sure what's going on. Too many
I've been
Zimas,
watching-
Yeah. Well, hey.
Too many Zimas.
Oh yeah, sorry, you guys. You know what? I apologize, Brian. Before you continue, I forgot. I should. We're pretty far into the show and we haven't done any
doing
any
ad
copies.
read?
So yeah, sorry about that. We should interrupt the show just for a second to tell you about our sponsor this week, Zima Clear Malt Beverage. Have you lost all self-respect? Do you wish to be the 14-year-old boy or girl that you were once, raiding your mother's fridge? Try Zima, the clear, refreshing malt beverage. Your butt will thank you. Zima. All right. Interesting.
That's
Yeah,
very specific.
I don't know. It's weird.
That's
We
a
need some
specific
jingle music.
demographic.
Yeah, we'll get some for it. I just it's crazy that you nailed it with the tagline, Eric. I'm impressed. Yeah. So Brian, as you were saying, whatever you are about to say, sponsored by Zima.
Yeah, I was watching this show, and these people have these problems. Like, if you guys would just drink Zima, it'd be fine. But then we wouldn't have a show. No,
That was
I've
the
been watching
entire
Val.
season of For All Mankind. If you were just drinking a Zima.
Have you guys, have you guys seen The Vow?
No.
It's a it's I
Wait,
guess
have
you
I?
could call it true crime. I guess it's kind of docu-series. You heard of that thing Nexium?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Drug?
The
Yeah.
rapper?
No. Nexium is like, to
That's
be honest,
squeamish.
It's a lot like Scientology. Like,
Right.
it's like Nexium. It's like this. They have all these self-help sessions and people can take, but people can get involved, and then it kind of turns into like a pyramid scheme a little. But the main thing, the story
Is it out
kind
of
of,
California?
huh?
Is it out of California?
No, it's actually based in Rochester or Albany, New York.
Nice.
But there's a lot of celebrities like you guys know Allison Mack is. She was on Smallville.
Mhm.
And well, anyway, I won't share too much. But basically, self-help thing. It seems very similar to Scientology, and then it ends up
I
making,
know this story.
yeah, it ends up like making sex slaves out of the women that come in it.
Yeah. There's
and
some
it-
fun,
like
famous
say
people
it's-
in it.
Yeah, it was Allison Mack. There's one of the girls from Battlestar was married to the. She was one of the deckhands that married one of the guys. That ended up being a Cylon, one of
Yeah.
the other five.
She was one of the pilots from the in the really early on. She was stranded on the planet with the other pilot, kind of
yeah, I
Asian-y
think so.
girl. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Well, no, she was in it, but there were which the Asian girl was a Cylon herself. But
Oh, that's
this
right.
Other girl, the other girl, she was like one of the deckhands or one of the mechanics that worked on the ships.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of the rough Kaylee girl. Like.
Yeah,
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 gotcha.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Like the one that they clearly dressed down on purpose
Yeah.
to make her look like a mechanic, not hottie. She was in it. But yeah, Allison Mack was one of the big ones. And then there's this other creepy dude called Keith Rainier was like the guru of the group. You watch it, it's very Scientology-ish,
Mhm.
but it's super good at like the way they're telling. It's a docuseries, but they're taking kind of a narrative approach with it. The way they're shooting it, it's because basically what it was, one of the guys that was in it and that basically got out of it and kind of broke the whole thing.
Mhm.
He was a filmmaker. In 2004, he made a documentary called "What the Bleep Do We Know,"
Mhm.
which is super interesting.
Yeah.
But so basically, he was in this thing and he like totally drank the Kool-Aid, but he like filmed stuff the entire time he was in it, like 14 years.
Oh man.
So he got out, and now he has all this years worth of footage.
Wow.
So they have like all the shady shit that happens on camera. He has footage of.
Wow.
It's pretty interesting the way they're telling it.
That's crazy.
So I totally recommend it.
Yeah, I remember seeing a clip on it, and it was back in my head was like, yeah, I need to watch this one because even the documentary about Scientology that they do, it's just crazy interesting about how powerful suggestion is.
Yeah.
And how people can get wrapped up into something which is so obviously should ring false.
Mm-hmm.
Like something in it should in the back of your head be like, I don't how. But we're also looking at it from a lens outside.
Yeah.
So you don't get the day to day, and that's the part that fascinates me is like the power of acceptance and persuasion of just how deep it is, and it's not like especially the guy who started it, runs it, or whatever. Like, just a guy, man. It's not like it's crazy. Crazy is not a fair word, but I don't want to say impressive either, but it's impressive that he was able to create this. And people
Who doesn't
are like,
want to think that they
yes.
could be a cult leader? Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
Like
right.
being a rock star kind of.
And the thing about Scientology, like I watched that, and I'm like, granted, I've never put myself in that situation, but like, nah, I don't buy that crap. But like, but what they put like NXIVM, what Scientology do, it seems like what they do is they kind of lull people in with these like self-help courses, which a lot of it seems probably that's not terrible advice. And that
Sure.
but the NXIVM thing, they basically would recruit women, and he would and then they created like a pyramid scheme of slaves, and the guy at the top counted everyone's calories for them, and it's like starving them, and it basically kind of turned them into zombies in a way.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. But like in the show, like say, because this guy they wanted him to film everything, so he has all these moments on camera where they would bring like prospective new people to meet like this head guy Keith, and it's just crazy watching how manipulative he was and how just watching him like win people over. It's kind of terrifying but really interesting to watch.
Interesting.
How many notes did you take while he was talking to you? Just
I mean, it
I
was
never
like,
would have thought to say that.
I mean, it's like, oh, I'm growing my hair out, I'm gonna be a guru, I think.
Gonna grab those
even
lizard fingers.
like the early summer darling Tiger King.
Yeah.
They had the one big cat owner in Florida who had like the long hair in his own ranch, and they went and talked to him, and he's like, oh yeah, and because he was kind of like, oh, that guy, the Tiger King is nuts. And they're like, well, tell me about you. And he's like, oh, well, these are my 7 wives, and they all work for me for free, and I made them change their names, and then they can't contact their family. It's like, oh, hold on.
Right.
Like, whoa, I need to back up, man.
We got problems.
So that kind of stuff is, I'm not in awe of it, but it's impressive that it happens all over the place. And everyone, and there are people that are like, I'm in.
The choice to manipulate to such a high degree is something that is very fascinating. It's very using your powers for good or evil. Which side of the force do you want to be on? And it's interesting when people choose and go full force into the dark side, but then to have the hubris to be like, oh no, but film it the whole time.
Well,
that's crazy.
Never think this is gonna bite me. Like, no.
I'll be fine. Yeah.
Well, no, but that's what it is, and that's why it's like, I didn't want to say crazy, but it's like borderline sociopathic or psychotic.
Well, no, it is
because,
sociopathic for sure.
Right, but it's they don't. It's not like they sit in a room and plan out how to manipulate people. They just do it. Like it's instinctively how they. So they're not sitting. They never have that like dark conscious thought of like, man, what I'm doing is kind of jacked up. No, this is just what they do. And so they don't. We can look at it and be like, wow, he's manipulating you. He's using these techniques to do it. It's not like he's got a, like he stands up in front of a room of people and like cracks open a hypnotist manual real quick and is like, keyword. Like they just do it. Like it's just
That's why my cult failed miserably.
right.
Because it was called keyword.
Keyword.
So like
We're
that's
like,
that's why they have that hubris, because it's for them it's not hubris, because whatever they're doing is not unnatural. It's so just instinctively like, people come to me.
I am the
I have the
greatest.
charisma of a god, and for them it's not like the this is gonna get a bad episode. This isn't like some of the churches where there are people that are sitting in a back room saying, "What do we need to do to get 20,000 more people to send us $5?"
Oh, yep, we're going for it.
Yeah.
Well, but I think that by and large, your more mainstream and sort of very traditional religions are typically full of extremely what's the word? Sincere people who truly believe in what they believe.
Right.
Where it starts to cross the line is when it turns into, if you ever promise people financial prosperity, that's when you know that things are going off the rails. And so that's like the Joel Osteen type stuff and those mega churches. I mean, there's a pastor in a church in like Denver or something like that who wears like Yeezys when he preaches, which, those are like $2,000 shoes. It's like, that is so much food for a homeless family. Like, are you kidding me? Like, that's like the level where it goes.
Sadducee zone today.
Yeah, exactly. And so, but it's fascinating when you promise people prosperity. If you follow me, what happens? Rather than it being. So I'm a huge follower. I don't know what the word would be, but just I believe so strongly in sort of the quantum view of reality, that you can sort of manifest exactly what you want in your life because it physically actually is something that happens scientifically. But there's a guy named Joe Dispenza who's an author, and he's written a ton about the quantum theory and quantum model of reality, but the whole thing that circles that is all about you changing what's inside of you. Not follow me and do what I say and just come to me, I'll fix you. Come to me, I'll fix you. It's like, no, I can do nothing for you. You have to do it. And so when things turn into cults and sex and alternate religions.
$29.99 a month, you
can be
right. Your own savior.
Your $30. Yeah. But it's very different when it turns into something where it's about if you give us all your money, we're gonna fix you.
Well, yeah, and like to parlay it into more of it too is like we get out here in Vegas, we get ads about seminars that are like, come join my special real estate seminar. You learn all my tips and tricks. I literally heard one before all this happened.
Flip houses. It's
Yeah,
easy.
I heard one literally. This is amazing. It was like, come to our seminar on how to make $10,000 in a weekend. That was the seminar.
How much did it cost?
$500 a person, and they only had 200 seats. I'm like, that's $10,000. Like, the seminar is, congratulations, you're part of my $10,000. Just go somewhere, buy some airtime, do this again, $10,000.
Yeah, you're good to go.
I was just like, oh, I just felt so bad because I call it doing the math.
How deep into the seminar did you do the math?
I was like 10 minutes in. I was like, oh,
it was when he counted to 200. From 199, 200. Oh.
And all the equations are flying around his head, like, just slowly.
Well, it's funny too. I do the math a lot. It's the same with my logistics problem. Is if you've ever stayed at a timeshare, they will try to rope you into a presentation, and the point of the presentation is to get you to buy into the timeshare. That's fine. Timeshares are a good thing in some cases. However,
if you go take advantage of them, then they're fine.
Right. If you can abuse them, they're great. But so I have the one time we sat through one. Let's say I was staying somewhere in California, and points are an arbitrary number, but let's say I knew that the weekend I was staying cost 50,000 points. Arbitrary number, right? So we go through this presentation. They promised us like $200 in spa dollars or something like that, which is really all we wanted because we knew we weren't going to buy. And the guys, so remember, 50,000 for the exact vacation I'm on. So he sits us down. He's like, okay, we got a great starter package. We're going to get you in 12,000 points. And I'm like, and how much is that? it's only $240,000. I'm like, oh, okay, hold on. So what you're telling me is for $240,000, I can't even go on the current vacation that I'm on? Well, I mean, these are like, no. Find me 50,000 points. And then, he's like, well, I have to get a manager. Cool.
I'll wait.
Go do it. He's like, we don't have that amount of points available. It's like, all right, so how many people do you sucker into selling? Like they're on a vacation, they're on a weekend vacation in California for 50,000 points. You're coming to our club rate doesn't even buy you like a Saturday afternoon for the current, like, how many people? It's just like, we're done here. Give me the spot credit. Like,
did you get it?
I totally did.
Oh,
yeah.
good.
But then like we go up to, and there's always these like last minute like, oh well, I'm new here. Like, okay. Let me get the more senior salesperson. You don't need to. We're done here.
Didn't even know that was a thing until I moved to LA, and obviously it was a very big deal to try to.
Presentation?
Yeah, because they would give you a free trip to Vegas because I mean, why not?
Right. Oh yeah, 100%.
So that was the whole thing.
Well,
but you got to
the fun
come and
part-
listen to our timeshare thing.
So here's your smoking hot tip for timeshares. Always be married, even if you're not. You tell them you're married. You also tell them that your spouse is not with you. Then they can't even talk to you because you are essentially buying property, which if you're married, most states are community property states, so you'd have to have 2 signatures. So if you don't even want to get into the whole fight about, oh, well, I don't have time and you don't have stuff I want, all you do is like, you know what, I'm married and my wife's not here. And then they're like, okay, good, see you later. That's your smoking hot tip. That's how
You
you get out
know
of the timeshare
what?
presentation.
I've never had a timeshare call ever since I've not been married. That's interesting.
I
That's
never had
good.
a call, but I think the last time we were in Vegas, we stayed at I can't remember. Like we stayed on the Strip that time, and I hate staying on the Strip. I'd rather stay downtown. But anyway,
It's the only
so
way I
like we
roll.
checked in, and this lady like literally grabbed Natalie's arm because she was the one that was trying to gather people and take them to the desk, and it was like, yeah, if you sit through our morning breakfast in the morning, we'll feed you breakfast and listen to our presentation. We'll give you, free tickets to the what the hell is the?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't the
Oh, the
show.
high
It was
roller?
the high roller, and we're like, well, okay, we'll get some free breakfast, whatever. Because at that time I feel like it wasn't cheap to get on that thing. And they also told us it was, yeah. I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And then, of course, they give us the whole spiel and they schedule us. I'm like, oh, by the way, we can only do 1 ticket. So we'll give you 1 ticket. But you got to buy the other ticket on the high roller. I was like, no, F
Yeah,
you.
we're out.
Mm-hmm.
And then they tried to, grab us again. I'm like, don't touch me again.
So it's persistence. There's one out here that is, it's an air purifier. Somehow this company that's selling an
Is it
air
the Rainbow?
purifier, yes, it's the Rainbow,
We have a
has
Rainbow.
complete.
No, you have to keep in mind though, we have like 5% humidity, and it's dusty as all get out. I will give them this.
It's a regular Arrakis up in there.
Yeah. Oh, well done. Well
Dude.
done. It's
Just what we wanted.
I will
Dune
sing
plug.
praises for the product of Rainbow. I will not sing praises for their sales and
Kidding.
presentation.
I say
Can you
it.
give me that link to the Rainbow? Because California is on fire and the air quality is terrible.
Yeah.
Well,
Rainbow, that's the
the
perfect
thing,
timing
you
for
can't
that now.
buy it online. You have to sit through a presentation.
Yeah.
So it's funny, Matt. You say that. I went to the movies. Shocker. About
Mhm.
3 or 4 years ago, and they had a little stand in front of one of the movies, and it was like, win movie tickets for a year. I'm like, awesome. You have no idea how much that's going to cost you, but let's do this. So I signed up for it. It's just like a name, and I gave like a fake email and all that fun stuff because it doesn't matter. And then I got contacted because I think they just tried a bunch of email addresses, and one of them got to me. And they're like, oh, would you like a presentation on this Rainbow thing? And I talked to them. I was like, I don't want it. And they're like, no, you get a free one. And they do have, it's literally right there. There's this little like bulb that you put water in, it spins around. And
Oh,
it
so you just
goes-
have that. You didn't
No,
buy the
I've got
vacuum.
unit.
Oh,
I've
boy.
got the vacuum.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
More
I
than
know.
that.
I
No,
drink
continue.
Kool-Aid, I have the whole
Yeah. Oh boy.
But like it's a good product.
Yeah.
It's definitely a pyramid scam
Yeah.
type gig, but the product's solid.
Yeah.
So I don't regret the product purchase.
Isn't it
the
like
method in which we had to
really
go about it.
expensive though?
Yeah, it's not cheap,
Yeah.
but it has a lifetime warranty.
Like.
How long are they gonna be in business?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I get
they're still going.
I had the Kirby vacuum salesman show up at my door once.
Yeah.
Door to
And-
door.
Huh?
Door
Yeah.
to door.
Yeah, and like for some reason we let him in, gave us a spiel, and like almost had us. Like seriously, almost
Mhm.
had us. Then it's like, wait a minute, and this was probably 2011, 2012, and where back when I didn't make any money, and we lived in me, Natalie, and Eric shared a 1-bedroom apartment, and they
It was real
almost got
tiny.
us. I literally had this out loud light bulb moment. I was like, wait. I can't afford to pay $1,300 or whatever it was on a freaking vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
I don't want to finance a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah,
That's
right.
funny. Well, that's what
Yeah.
How about I
the
just buy it outright?
the rainbow thing though. Isn't that part of the deal? You can do like payments or whatever, and so it sweetens the deal a little bit. Did you try to sell them though? Because that's the other thing. They're like, we'll get,
No, absolutely. No,
okay, see, that's the whole thing here.
Yeah.
If you do, and it's some absurd number, like
It's a
if
pyramid,
you
dude.
set
You
up
have to sell 10 of them.
25 home demos, if you set them up, then you get yours for free,
Yep.
or a free trip or something like that. Yeah.
It's,
so
it's
it just
severely reduced. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how we got ours. Is
Yeah.
that we had a friend who also had a demo.
mhm.
They got it, and then in order to cut down on the financing cost, or the
Right.
total cost of the thing, they came and do a demo with us, and we
Yeah.
we were, like I said, it's crazy dusty out here,
Yeah, that's true.
and
dusty here,
it
too.
does work. It is
Mm.
a good product, etc., etc. But the whole process of making it happen is kind of like, all right,
Yeah.
because they also do the thing of like, well, if you finance for 3 years, we'll throw in a stair attachment, like
Right. Yeah.
So no,
And
but
you can meet Shai Halud. That's my second Dune plug. That's what you do.
well done.
Did they have the little nose pieces that Aquafina, or what's her name?
Zendaya.
Zendaya.
Aquafina.
I don't know why I went there
Knockoff
first.
man,
Yeah.
Knockoff actress.
Oh, like is it a jewelry
Oh, no,
store
there
or
is
water?
Aquafina.
There's
Is
an
she in it?
Aquafina.
Yeah.
No, she's not in it.
Oh, well, she's in
Zendaya's
it.
in it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But the little nose thing, is that part of the
I
original
worked
movie?
with her. That's the only way I know.
You did.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Zendaya or
Oh, the
Aquafina?
name drop.
Well, it was on a Disney show called Shake It Up, so
Yeah.
it's not really a name
That's
drop.
OG
she
Zendaya
came
right
from?
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
that's before she was famous.
I kid, but that's
I didn't know where she came from. Everyone's just like Zendaya, and I was like, I'm old. What?
What's a Zendaya? Did she have a last name when you knew her?
No.
Oh, so
That's
she
how
went
was-
right for the brand right away,
Yeah,
huh?
that's how she was credited. Yeah.
Well done. Wow.
I think I'm trying to remember if she was on the show. I worked on the next show is when she first got Spider-Man, and she was like, oh, she's a thing now.
Oh man, Spider-Man wasn't that long ago though.
No.
I feel like Shake It Up was a long time ago.
Because when I saw the Spider-Man, I was like, oh, it's her.
Yeah.
I could look it up.
You
You
were
just called it the Spider-Man.
It,
Like the Batman, the Spider-Man.
I paused in between Spider and Man too to respect the hyphen. The
Yeah.
Spider-Man, the Bat Man.
The bat.
Thank you for reading the script correctly. Is there any more? Is there any more scripts for our sponsor tonight?
No, none written. No, but
Oh, they gotta send us more. Okay.
yeah, they gotta send us more. Yeah, there's no more that are written down, but
They rejected our ideas.
yeah. Well, no, they
Full reject.
sent something. Well, it was
About
hand.
my Island of Dr. Moreau one.
It was handwritten on a piece of paper, and on the backside it's a cease and desist. So I don't know what it's ours
I
exactly.
don't know either.
So,
Yeah,
but
they probably just like jotted some notes and
yeah.
it got mailed in by accident.
Well, they're getting going again, so they may not have like office supplies yet.
Yeah.
So they just grabbed a random
No, that's
piece
a
of
good
paper.
point.
Yeah, they're recycling. They're just
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
that makes. That's why we got
environmentally
this. Yeah, I
They're
guess.
they're being green.
Sponsored
Yeah.
by. Yeah. Well, just in case you didn't know, sponsored by Nerds After Dark. Sponsored by Zima. Refreshing malt
I like
beverage.
that you keep showing the back.
What's on the back? What is it actually? Oh, it's an auto pay. It's directions how to auto pay my city bill.
That's a pyramid scheme, bro.
utilities, total
Yeah.
pyramid scheme.
Kinda.
You don't need sewer.
Yeah.
My favorite
Zendaya moment. Continue.
in my top 20s Zendaya moments.
That suggests there's like at least 100 if you've got a top 20.
No, the timeshare thing. There's a classic Married with Children episode where the kids send Al and Peg on what they think is a vacation. They're like, oh, wow, the kids sent us on a vacation. And the kids stick them in a timeshare. And
Nice.
then the thrash band Anthrax shows up.
Wow.
They hang out and they play. Yeah.
That's funny.
Pretty good one.
Anthrax.
It's not so good as the one where aliens come and steal Al's socks, but it's in top 5.
That's still
It's
pretty
The only
good.
thing I remember at watching Married with Children, because it was always like the thing I would watch with my parents after the news.
Right.
Because we watched the
Yeah.
news every night, and that came on after.
And then that pops up.
The only thing I
Yeah.
really remember was, like, the teenage son was always hooking up with chicks.
hmm
And I remember this one time he brought her down, and like Al Bundy's like, "Yeah, that's my boy," and she starts the girl starts to walk out the door, and the son's like, "Aren't you forgetting something?" He like sticks out his ass, and she like touches it, and is like, "Ah," and then leaves.
What?
Oh yeah, yeah. She like,
With Bud?
huh?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like caresses his ass and then leaves. And
Huh.
Peg is like appalled, and Al's like, "That's my boy."
And the audience goes wild.
yeah,
Yeah.
and huge laugh,
Yeah.
or maybe it was like, "Ooh," or
Yeah.
something.
That's crazy. Speaking of the 80s and 90s, I started watching. It's not called Game Over. High Score on Netflix. It's sort of a documentary series about video games, starting with Atari. Pretty much is kind of where it starts.
Starting in the Victorian time.
Yeah.
I'd love if they just went
Place a
way too
quarter
far
in
back.
my bustle. Yeah, so
Different
it's
kind of arcade.
yeah, it just shakes. It's good. It's pretty fun. The second episode maybe, because I think it starts with interviewing the guy who invented Space Invaders, and he's Japanese, so you have to read it, but it's pretty good. And then the second bit is about the guys who kind of like started making expansion packs for video games, so like Pac-Man and. So the first one was Space Invaders. So Space Invaders got to the point where people were just beating it like hardcore. So it was Missile Command. That's what it was. So people were starting to beat Missile Command. So they created these things where arcade owners could plug in this other board to the motherboard that would create more levels, and they'd be harder levels. Because that's what they were seeing new video games would go like this in revenue and then just do a sharp decline because people started beating the game and they didn't play it anymore. So they wanted to be able to expand it. But then Atari caught wind of this and sued them like super hard for these expansion things that they were doing. But the thing was, it was kind of technically helping them. So instead of suing them, they ended up hiring them.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
So it was cool. It was really, really cool. And then I think I just stopped where they got to the part where the guy who made E.T. is talking about how he wishes he never made E.T. I don't remember the documentary that well. I want to go back and watch it, but it's such a crazy story as he tells it, because it was as if they didn't know when the movie was coming out. It was like September, and they were like, we need this video game delivered on like Thanksgiving. So he had like 7 weeks to like write and completely put together an entire video game in like 6 weeks. And he did it, and he delivered it, and he got the stamp of approval by Steven Spielberg. Well, what's funny is that his first meeting was with Steven Spielberg. Like literally, he gets a call. They're like, we need you to make E.T. It needs to be ready for Christmas. And he goes, I can't make a game for Christmas. Like, are you crazy? You're like, well, but you have to, and you're flying to see Steven Spielberg tomorrow to pitch to him the game. So he writes it as it is going to become, and he pitches it to Spielberg. And Spielberg basically was like, nah, can you just do E.T. or can you just do Pac-Man but E.T.? Like, that's what he wanted. He just wanted E.T. running around eating, Reese's Pieces. Like, that's all he wanted. And the guy was like, no, we can't do that. We got to do something more complicated and crazy. And so he's like, fine. And so he does it, gets stamp of approval when it's done, and just, basically it
Mr.
killed
Spielberg,
Atari.
I don't know who you think you are, but
Right.
I think I know.
I
what
think
the
I
people
know-
want a little more than you.
If
Is that the
anyone
game
knows
they
what
buried
audiences
in the
want.
desert?
Yeah, because it basically killed Atari. Nobody wanted it, and it was terrible. And there were new things happening. New things were coming up and coming out, so it just died. And, then they buried thousands of copies in the desert that are still in
we talked
pristine
about that
condition.
before.
The
Yeah,
third
It's a good one to watch.
Dune plug of the evening.
buried in the desert with Aquafina. No, not Aquafina.
Spice
She's
is
gonna
life,
make a cameo now. We're gonna feel like a-holes.
Oh man, in Dune?
Dude,
Yeah.
I would love it. Lots of people
I thought you were saying on our podcast. Like that'd be great.
yeah, no,
Peter just
hey,
showed up.
she's right here.
Where's all the water? Where's all the water? That's my Aquafina.
Oh man, you know what else I watched? I just
More raspy, though.
Yeah. Where's all the water?
There you go.
got a Between Two Ferns popped up in my YouTube page just kind of randomly. I was like, oh, I loved that show, and it was,
You went on a bender.
but kind of, but it was actually I think it's from the movie where he interviews Donald Sutherland. I promise all I've had is LaCroix, no Zima. It was David Letterman, and he is interviewing Letterman. And Letterman's going on about Malala, and he's going, Malala, this brave woman, not really known the worldwide, and he's going on and on. And Zach Galifianakis just has this look on his face, like, and Letterman goes, "You clearly from your face, I can tell you do not know who I'm talking about." Galifianakis goes, "Yeah, I know who you're talking about, Adam Carolla. That's what you said, right?" It just completely breaks Letterman. Like he laughs. It just totally breaks him. That I don't know why that came into my mind, but you're welcome.
I think one of my
I always
favorite.
got Adam Carolla.
Now let's watch it. Yeah,
One of my favorite Between Two Ferns is when Obama was on there.
that's a good one.
Did you guys see that one?
Yeah.
And he was like, "So, Mr. President, would you say that a third Obama presidential term would be a disaster?" And Obama goes, "Well, let's just say me doing a third term of president would be very similar to doing a third Hangover movie."
Nice.
There's a blooper reel you can watch of Between Two Ferns bloopers.
Mm.
Oh wow!
Oh, it's
Yeah, it's good.
awesome.
It's
Like
really good.
The like the comedy creativity that is.
No, that's what it was from. It
is
was from the
exemplified there.
bloopers. Yeah.
Oh, was it from the bloopers? Yeah, you can
Yeah.
you can sense that there's a lot of really smart, funny people in that room.
Yeah. The Brie
But
Larson
fact
stuff's
that they're-
good.
They're knocking themselves over with this
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, it's really funny.
Yeah. No, he's got some good writers. It was a really
Yeah.
funny show.
Yeah, that show did it got credit, but it never was more than just a YouTube thing.
Hmm.
You know, I was like, oh, shit,
Yeah.
yeah.
I watched
They're
when I
very
tried to
early on.
watch the movie. Once you put a narrative behind the show,
There's a
it
movie?
didn't. Yeah, it's on Netflix. And it's not. I mean, it's fine.
It's like the Ali G movie.
Yeah,
That's probably a
exactly.
good comparison.
Yeah.
Where you're taking this little kind of short form thing, and then let's just add a plot.
Yeah. So
For
the
no
character he plays is a character in the movie, and so just kind of always kind of awful, and it's like it doesn't really work.
Yeah, no. Stop trying to take things like that. That
Yeah.
the part of where they work is the circumstances that they're viewed.
Hmm.
Oh, absolutely.
Just bring
Why
it back.
Borat was very different from
Mhm.
the Ali G movie.
Right.
So maybe he'll do Between Two Ferns and just go that route.
Just do just.
If you're
just those.
listening, Gaffinanapis,
Grab some
Get on.
Aquafina and make it happen.
Is that another Jedi character?
Glafopinakis.
Glyphanakis.
He's got a purple
That's one of the
saber.
monsters.
Very hairy.
Yeah, quite. But yeah, that was I think the pile of things that I've been watching. It was a hot week for trailers though.
Yeah, I watched. So on the plane, I told myself I was going to be good and read a book. That didn't happen. I watched Creed 2. I watched Trolls World Tour. I watched Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Where did you fly?
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh,
where
it was
did you
just
go?
flight.
Chicago. Well, no, so I watched 2 out and 2 back.
Oh, okay.
And then I watched Isn't It Romantic? Because it was free. Like I didn't have to pay for it.
That's great. No.
Who's
It's the
in
one,
that movie?
the one with Rebel Wilson, where her life becomes like a romantic comedy,
Hmm.
Yeah, oh, okay. Yeah.
and it's like
Yeah.
I watched
Never
it. I remember
heard of
watching
it.
it, going, I should never speak of this,
But you just did.
because it's like they had a script for a movie, and they said who's like quirky, funny, hot right now, Wilson, and they made it. And there's just
Yeah.
like you probably should have just in general done it. It's not great. It loses traction real fast.
Well
And
done.
it starts
Well
smelling its own
done.
art a little early.
I'm
But-
sorry, Wilson.
And the
It's all right.
World 2 wasn't too bad.
Oh my. Oh, how did you do that?
Yeah, I couldn't have done that.
That's
I
impressive.
went in
Were your
with-
pants on or off? When you watched?
Oh, I was on a plane, so they're definitely off. No,
A little bailiff action.
it was it was it was just funny because like the whole point of it was that pop music ruined all music, but throughout the movie everyone gets that message except for the queen of the pop music, Trolls. So it's like, and it's played by Anna Kendrick, so you're like, I know you're not dumb. Like, you
I don't
and
understand.
then it's like, what's the message you get? Like, what is the message that the kids are pulling from this? Because it was supposed to be like, oh, it's good to be different. It's okay to be different. You don't all be the same thing. But also, pop music is terrible, and don't listen to it.
That's kind of weird.
It was a
That's good. I'll vote for
bonkers
that.
movie,
Yeah.
and it was like a little cultural appropriation-y, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Because they had like Jamaican trolls and like reggae trolls and funk trolls.
Were the reggae trolls high?
They did talk a little slower, and they all had dreads.
Nice.
And they were all voiced by Adam Carolla.
It's a good show. I need to watch it now. What were these all just free? Is that why you did this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was on Southwest, and they have like free movies. So it's like a 3-hour and 45-minute flight. So like as soon as I sit down, just pop it up. It's free. Like
Yeah.
like I'll watch this because it's 2 hours. And then about the 2-hour mark, that's when like all the food comes by. Like, all right. And then which really is just water and peanuts at this point. And then the second one, which was Trolls World Tour out, and Isn't It Romantic on the way back, it's because it's like, all right, at some point they're going to turn off the Wi-Fi so they can land the plane. This is one that I'm fine if they
Right.
just like
Can lose
kill
it.
it in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like, what happened?
Could you have paid for a better movie?
No. No, there's no paid movies. No.
Oh,
I watched
The
Saving
Nico
Mr.
sees
Banks
the world.
on.
So from a free movie perspective, I was like, all right.
Yeah, that's
you
all right.
got me to and from a location in modern entertainment. I think I've watched,
Cover the spectrum.
yeah, I think Godzilla King of Monsters has been on there for about a year.
I
Yeah.
love
I
that
think-
stupid movie.
I think
Oh,
every
no.
time I'm on a flight, I comb through what's new this month, and some of them are like way too serious for a plane. I'm like, nah. They're like, Godzilla, we're good here.
Is
Correct.
that the one
I-
with Bryan Cranston?
No, this is the one with
The sequel.
Kyle from Friday Night Lights.
Oh.
Being like angry, sad, angry dad the whole time, which
Yeah.
is great.
Like
And-
Millie
and
Bobby
does
Brown,
that.
Bobby's in it.
Vera Farmiga.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Payday for a bunch of people.
And the girl from The Thing, Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah, Millie Bobby Brown. Yeah.
Millie Bobby Brown.
Who's that?
Millie Bobby Thornton.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's in it.
She
Which from
plays-
the trailers, it seemed like she was just going to be going, ah! And I was like, oh, she's just like, is she typecast as just the girl who gets nosebleeds and freaks out all the time?
Right.
But no, but she's good.
It's a great part.
I'll be right back, gentlemen. I have to
Yeah,
use the restroom.
please do.
Sure, sure.
I would have loved to have played the bailiff who
White
peed
Claws.
all the time. That would be way better. No, at least I could, the bailiff who peed all the
Just like-
time. At least I could step out for a little
Take
bit.
recess.
Yeah. Step out
He's
here
in his
and there.
closing statements. I'm gonna pee my pants.
Yeah,
We need a
I
little
gotta-
5 minute.
I gotta go.
Just reach over and grab the gavel. Goo, goo, goo. 5 minutes, everybody. 5 minutes.
You can't
5
do
minutes.
that. You know, another funny story that I remembered from that. Well, it's not even that funny, but so
I can't wait to hear it.
So since we were all bailiffs, we all had to be clean shaven because it was the '60s, and so the dude, the tall dude, he actually kind of looked like me. Like we could have been brothers. Like it was like super similar resemblance, and at one point in
What about
time,
downstairs? Did you guys look the same downstairs?
we never compared, but it's a good question though. Thanks. It felt the same though. So we're in rehearsal, close to the end of rehearsal, and the judge forgets one of his lines. And Dingleberries was up front, so he says the line to the judge, and the judge is like, "I know it," and then he goes into the line. So rehearsal's over. Go back. We're in the dressing room because it was dress rehearsals, and he goes, "I need to talk to you." I was like, "Okay." He goes, "Never tell me my line." And I look at him, I was like, "What?" He goes, "Never, ever tell me my line. Like, just let me figure it out." And I go, "You think that I gave you your line reading?" And he
Are
goes,
you
"Yes."
height
Yeah,
blind?
I know. I was like, dude, I wouldn't. I think his name was George. I was like, George, I would never do that. And also, it was that guy. Like, knock it off.
My
Guy
favorite
that's a
part
foot
about
taller than me.
Yeah, he's
Can you
like
not see that?
so tall.
my favorite part about the judge forgetting his line is that he has the perfect setup to just have the script
Right in front of him, right there. And he even
No-
has a
nobody
book.
can-
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, nobody can see what he's doing. He's got right there, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate the attention to the art, to the
Mhm.
craft of memorizing your lines.
Mm-hmm.
But it was kind of like, do you remember when you guys tried to do 12 Angry Men in high school?
What do you mean try to do? We killed it.
Wow, it's so hot.
Wow.
I was the lead, so
I watched it.
yeah.
Well, okay, I'll put it this way: there was 12
That
Angry
was
Men
good.
and 75 angry audience members because we could all tell that you had the script right. Everyone had the script on the table.
It was
'Cause
hard.
The lines. Yeah, it's a lot of dialogue. I get
Mm.
it, but the lines were delivered as like when you used to read paragraphs in school and you would try to count ahead on which one was your paragraph.
hmm
That somebody would be like, "No, you're a liar.
I don't remember
I'm
using
not
the
a liar.
script. Did we really?
You are a liar."
I don't
I
remember.
want to see this play.
Is there
I'm
a
sure it's
tape?
on. It's got to be on VHS somewhere. Yeah,
Penny?
I'm gonna have to find it.
Yeah, there was so many, and then I think somebody literally had the direction of they're supposed to slam their hand down and get up, and I think they slammed their hand down and then turn the page and then got up and
Well,
walked
I'm gonna
somewhere.
have to find that.
They licked their fingers.
And that's what I was like, because I do remember you guys saying it was like the script book was like 75 pages, and it was
It's
a
long.
lot of dialogue,
Yeah, it's-
and for
it's
high
just-
schoolers to like try to recall all that, that's asking a lot.
Mhm. Well, by
Especially
senior
when you
year
don't
too,
have
you're kind
12
of
solid people to
Yeah.
that.
in Oklahoma. I had some of my lines written on my hand because it was just a lot, and my brain was already getting tired at 18. I was just like, Oklahoma. That's the name of the show. Yeah. Yeah.
Down the
Plains.
Poons?
I'm
Poons.
sweaty, guys. Sorry.
Oh!
Do we get Friday Night Eric a day early?
Almost.
Sleepy.
He's got
Yeah.
paint fumes going on over there.
I have never more confidently sung the word poons in my life than that
I
night
mean, the
in Oklahoma.
reviews were great.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna get it wrong, own it. right?
Yeah, just get
lean
it.
into it.
Just get it. It was like our year that we dressed up as Ghostbusters in. So Eric and I sang in the choir. Nico was the drummer
Yeah.
in the choir.
Joel sang too.
Joel sang. And then Maddie Kay was our fourth Ghostbuster, and so we dressed up as Ghostbusters. But our theater director was so excited by our Ghostbuster uniforms outfits for Halloween. He was like, "We got to put this in our show in the spring." So we did.
Oh, did he want to? I thought I just like broke him down.
Well, it might have been that. Yeah, either or.
Because I feel like he went.
All right. Well, it's great because it could fill in
Like
some
they're
space.
seniors, it'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
They're going
You
away.
want to design half of the show? Awesome, have at it.
But part of the problem was that we then had to do the entire concert in our Ghostbusters uniforms. So we would take off the packs, but we sang songs from Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, Dirty Dancing, in our Ghostbusters costumes. Like Joel and I had solos in that song from Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat that we're both singing in our janitor uniforms. Yeah. Turn back the curtain.
Wow, wow.
Yeah, amazing. Silly string everywhere, all over the
Yeah.
stage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, Nico was the ghost from scary movies, and we just shot at him with silly string. It was wonderful.
Yeah,
And
it
we
was pretty
did
good.
tours around all the schools.
And we never talked about that component of it either. Like we never rehearsed it and said, okay, so go over here and do this. And I remember going to one gym and like they had a basketball rim, so I just dunked on it for no reason.
It was
And then, like,
once you got sufficiently covered in silly string, that's when you kind of gave up. Sort of at a certain point in the song where it made sense.
Yeah. And then there's the one where I think we were doing it in the high
It's
school
like the end of all my
auditorium.
favorite movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Covered in those silly string.
We were in the high school auditorium.
Credits.
And I
Credits roll.
found an empty seat, and I just sat next to somebody and started talking to him. And I was like, "Oh, they'll do this fun little bit. Like, I can't find you." And you guys, all three of you, just beelined it to me and just blasted the person next to me. I was like, "I should leave. It's time to get out of this seat."
It
Sorry about
happens.
that.
It happens. In the business, you got to expect that.
Yeah, it's true.
Mhm.
That was
That's
good
still a
stuff.
thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Especially
Still
around
very
Halloween.
flammable.
And a carcinogen they just found out probably.
Right.
Sorry, Nico, you have months.
The silly string industry is like, it's always been asbestos. I don't know what you think this is.
It started out as a fire retardant.
It smells like
And then
soap.
You see all these class action lawsuits against silly string. Oh man.
There's
I had
the.
so many. That was such
Oh, yeah,
a
there's-
fun.
Mhm.
Like
That was-
singers was such a good time because I remember I was fortunate. Our freshman year was the existing drummer's senior year, so sophomore year he held auditions. So it wasn't like I had to wait. I got to do it. I got to do that for 3 years, which is nuts. And I remember the one time we did Age of Aquarius and the other song. And how it would go for me
Let
was
the sunshine in.
Yeah, let the sunshine in. So how it would go for me was I was never in that class. It was always like a voluntary type thing. You guys were in the class, you got class credit, all that stuff. I never got any of that stuff, which whatever, I don't
What?
care. Yeah, no, I didn't get any of that.
That's weird.
So you guys would have your show ready, you'd be practicing, you'd be rehearsing, and it wasn't until like a month or whatever before the performance that he would be like, "Okay, Nick, I need you to come in now," and I'd be like, "Great." And most times it was just a standard like rock beat or whatever. But then we got those two songs. I was like, "Oh no, those are very specific." Hold on, and I had to go. My dad had a record
Yes.
of it, and so I remember listening to the record and being like, "How am I gonna do this?" And then I went in and played it. I think Kenny looked at me like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "No, this is the music. This is how it goes." He's like, "All right." Like, fine.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
do
like,
it.
yeah,
Whatever
well,
he did when he just
Yeah.
gave up. When
Yeah,
they
forehead.
needed him.
he'd be like, "Well, just make sure you're on tempo." Like, got it. Okay.
You couldn't just look it up on YouTube back then.
Nope.
Yeah, no, I had to like that was actually the only song I actually did like quote unquote musical research for because I knew it was very, very, very specific. Like when you did like some Fiddler on the Roof stuff or some what's the French play?
Schindler's
La
List.
Revolution. Yes. No.
Les
you know what I'm talking
Miserables.
about. Yeah, Les Miserables. So that one was just like, oh, we'll just do a snare drum marching thing. Like I didn't have to look anything up. I was like, I'll just do this very soft
silly
like,
string.
snare drum arch, and it'll be totally fine, and it worked and
Yeah.
all that stuff. But yeah, Age of Aquarius was like, no, that's very specific. I gotta look this
Yeah.
one up.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
There's
A
some
lot
good
of
stuff
the
in
rest
there.
of it was just like a basic 4/4 rock beat
Mhm.
and no solos.
Yeah.
No
Very
drum
rarely any solos.
But yeah, no, I was lucky. I got to do that for 3 years, and it was funny too. This is how small town we were. The sophomore and junior year, you guys all took singers photos, and Kenny was like, "You're not in a photo." And then
Oh.
our senior year, he wasn't there, so I was like, "Screw!" I went and got the drum set, and I brought it into the auditorium, and
You got in
and
the
two-
photo?
it's in the photos. Yeah, he
Wait,
wouldn't let me
which
get the
photo? Because when I remember, we were outside. The senior year?
Our senior year, yeah.
He's got it on the shelf.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
I love it. I've so like abandoned high past. I don't have anything like at all. Anything from high school. I mean, obviously not here, but definitely not.
Not
in-
after the fire.
There was no fire.
Yeah, here we go. So,
Break Zima.
so that's us sitting in the front, and there's me with the drum set, and I got some ladies on my shoulder.
Wow, look at
There you
you.
go.
Oh, Mr.
Is that
Weatherby.
Connie and
It's Connie and Chantel.
Chantel? Oh, funny.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
What year was that?
98.
1998.
Wow.
Yeah. The
Yeah, I
day the
remember that.
music died.
I was finally like, I found out that you guys were doing the photos. I was like, I've been doing this for 3 years. You told me, and then he's like, well, I have to go do something. Just be good. Like, wait, are you gone? you gone?
Did
I'm
he
not
ever
just
tell
gonna
you that he
stay.
saw the photo and was like,
No, he didn't care.
yeah. It was.
If I see one drum set in my photo,
Yeah, no,
We're
I think
taking 'em
it's
again.
because I wasn't like, I wasn't in the class or whatever. I don't know. Whatever.
Mhm.
I just knew that my senior year I was like, I've been doing this for 3 damn years. I'm getting in this fucking
Yeah.
photo.
Yeah.
Totally.
So we graduated in '98. When did you graduate, Brian?
2004.
2004. Okay. I was hoping it wasn't 2008 because that would make us feel weird, but
No.
yeah, that's good. Yeah, because my younger
Graduated
brother.
College in 09.
Okay. My younger brother graduated in 2002, so about the same.
Your younger brother.
My youngest brother.
My,
yeah.
my baby bro.
Yeah.
You're the oldest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wisest as well.
Yeah.
That's probably not true at all.
Let's not put that one to the test.
Yeah.
Let's not
Okay.
have Smoking Hot Nerds Jeopardy night.
Actually, do you want to have?
Yeah, we have to now.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
We should
Good
play
idea.
the original. I should get my brothers on, and we should play the original Star Wars Trivial Pursuit. So
Yeah,
it was
that's what I
all
was just gonna say.
pre-
Star Wars.
yeah, it was prequels. But I think it might have. Well, no, I think it was all original trilogy, and I think they put out an expansion pack for like the books at one point.
Huh.
But it was so we would
I'm
play
not mad
it.
at that idea.
It'd be fun.
Moderated
Mhm.
Smoking Hot Nerds game night would
Yeah.
actually be
Yeah.
pretty fun.
But the thing about that though is that at least when we were kids, and Eric would come over sometimes, we play it. It was basically if we would roll for the first person to play, and if you were the first person, if you got the first move, you would basically win
Yeah, you guys would just run the board.
because we just knew everything about the original trilogy. Now I might just be like, I don't know, I think his name was Spleegis. Give me that wedgie.
Yeah, it's like in the cantina.
Yeah.
Who shot first? Whoa,
Uh,
whoa, whoa.
But that would be fun.
Well, in one of the comics, it was Gleep Splorgy.
Who also happened to be a Jedi.
An ancient sorcerer race.
Yeah, I don't like that line at all. My only
I don't
problem.
mind it. I know you don't like it. I don't mind it.
Did they ever call them sorcerers before?
No, I
In
don't think.
some of the comics and in
Yeah.
some of the material, it's referred to as. Like,
Well, but see,
magic
that's the thing when
sorcery.
you're talking about the whole universe. Like, if you've got a guy like Dave Filoni kind of running the show, he just knows all the things, so he's going to bring in context that I think more
Well, I thought they called them wizards.
fans like me. No, sorcerers
Yeah,
in the
Wizards
trailer.
said a lot, but
Well, no, in the Mandalorian trailer, it's definitely sorcerer.
Mhm.
But I could have sworn one of in one of the movies, Wizards.
Hmm.
Was it Grand Moff Tarkin or
Yeah,
like
it's Tarkin has some kind of line.
he's got
That's
some
what-
line about your ancient wizard something or like
Hmm.
that.
The
Well,
I have a
Hans,
question
I think,
about
has
Your
that line.
wizard sleeve.
like
That part.
I have never watched
Great.
Rebels or the Clone Wars or anything.
me
Is it
neither.
are they like kid cartoons or are they just animated Star Wars? If that makes sense.
They are animated, but they are not for kids.
Really? I figured they were just kid cartoons. That's why I've never tried them.
There's
No.
a lot of rape.
But it's all robots though. Those R2s don't move too
Yeah.
fast.
So
then-
14
But
plus.
then they say, well, do we need to think about
Well, it's so I think it's that's not being fair. It's
It's a little bit of rape. It's not a lot.
it's just not talked
It's
about.
got rapey vibes. Is
Yeah.
all.
No, they are cartoons, so
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
implied kid stuff. I think there are kids that could watch them and be entertained, but it's just like how some stuff has a lot more. I don't want to say adult material, but like intellectual material. We're like, oh, that only makes sense to adults. Like I said, there's a 3-episode arc about the deregulation of the galactic banks. Like, there's
Mhm.
no kid who's going, actually, the interest rate of that product. Like,
be
no,
rough.
they're not doing that.
Are they riffing off of what Greenspan did? Because let me tell you something, Mr. Lucas.
Right, right.
I'm
they're-
not
but
a
they're
fan.
definitely like, there. I mean, because every year for Halloween, there's always like some little Clone Wars or Rebels kid that comes to our front door, and I know he doesn't get it, but he likes the cartoon.
Mhm.
So
they're-
it's
but
not
they're-
like dumbed down though. That's-
no.
Okay.
It is like later on they get rich with lore and
Mhm.
like the Ahsoka character alone is worth watching it because
Who's that?
she's great. Yeah, and her whole thing is super good too because she gets railroaded out of the Jedi Order
Railroad.
by some actions that Palpatine takes, and not that kind of railroad.
That was delayed.
It's not for kids.
It took me a second because I was trying to think about.
She gets Eiffel Tower.
I didn't want to. Yeah. Anyway, but it's like that's a pretty heady topic.
Yeah.
The episode was called "The Liberation of Paris," so made sense. Oh
Lots
no,
of head.
no! Oh,
But yeah, the whole Ahsoka thing is killer. Which it would actually not be bad to watch like a YouTube, like a summary video,
like a
on
recap,
Ahsoka.
yeah.
A recap just in preparation for Mandalorian because if she is going to be a predominant player, you kind of need to know her path a little bit because it's not straightforward.
And that's kind of one of
But
the
it's-
challenges of something like The Mandalorian, where I want to love it for everything it's worth, but in order to do that, I got to live in Filoni's head. I got to watch all the things, get to know all the stuff, because they really do tag some things that you don't have context for necessarily. I mean, even like Clone Wars too, or Rogue One, weren't the two characters the kind of Jedi-ish guy, and the dude with the big gun? Weren't they characters in Clone Wars or nah? Was it just Forrest Whitaker's character?
Just Forrest Whitaker's character.
Oh, okay.
Well, I shouldn't. I mean, those two guys lived in.
Kill me. My favorite. I love when he says that line. It's wonderful.
They
He's
were
wheezing the whole time.
Yeah, the Darth Vader voice.
they were temple guards, so they don't really do a lot of. I need to get back into Rebels. I stopped at some point. I haven't finished that one yet, but my understanding from Rogue One is they were temple guards that once the Empire took down the temples, they became like pseudo mercs, but they never really left the temple. Like the one was super devoted to the Order, so he's not going to leave, and then the other guy was like,
Well, he can't see anything. He can't go anywhere.
Right, he's like, you're my buddy. I can't leave you. You're my
Yeah,
best friend.
yeah. It's a very Jeffy
Best
moment
friend.
for me. It really was. It was kind of a
made a
Jeffy
Jeffy
moment at first, yeah. And then I was like, oh, he's not a Jeffy. He can beat people up. So that passed pretty quickly.
Like, oh, he's fine.
Did you like look in the mirror? It's not going to be a Jeffy moment.
Yeah, why are the biggest characters is always giving me Jeffy moments? Like, how could King Kong give me a Jeffy moment? That's crazy. Like, I don't have real ones. They're all just, like, extremely strong characters. Make me sad for my puppy.
Oh, means it works.
Jeffy did hurt his dew claw though this week.
Are you getting caught on something?
Yeah, you know the dew claw is like the one
The thumb.
in here. Yeah, it's a little higher up, and he does that every now and then. He's very passionate about his tennis balls, and so sometimes he'll catch it on something and he'll rip it or whatever, and so he's bleeding pretty good. So called the vet, and they were like, well, all we would do is wrap it. Just go ahead and get some gauze and wrap it. So I wrapped it yesterday, and I'm trying to take it off tonight so that I can let it get some air.
He's gonna bite you.
And then he totally did. But it was like this very bite where it just sort of he just grips my hand,
I don't like it.
Yeah, yeah. So I got to figure out a way to get the whole thing off of him. So I'm gonna put it back on. So.
Oh, the bandage?
Yeah.
You
Putting the
sit on
bandage on was fine. He didn't have a problem with that. Taking the bandage off is kind of what it feels weird, like you're taking something off of him. And yeah, so I gotta
Like,
get that.
Dad,
Did you call
doesn't like
the
it.
vet and go, okay, we
Yeah.
got a stage 5 Jeffy moment happening.
Yeah.
I go, Matt's on the phone again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need gauze for my dog and a sedative for me.
Yeah. I can't tell if the vet they're just good. They've just made enough money. They're good. Because she didn't even try to make me have, it was the receptionist.
bring you
I was
in,
trying to
right.
get her get an appointment. She's like, you don't really need to. Just wrap it up. It'll be fine. I was like, should I put antibiotic on it? She's like, if you want to. I was like, but how do I put it on there? She's like, wrap it up.
I've got my arm
broken
inside
fingernail.
a
Yeah.
cow's asshole. So you do whatever you need
I
to
don't
do.
have
Fine.
time for this. Well,
it's like you don't want me to come there and give you money from my wallet, really?
yeah, that's not totally untrue because there's 2 entrances to the vet office in Fort Morgan. The first
large gate and
entrance
the
is
small
pet side, dog, cats, that kind of thing. The other side is livestock. So if you do need to bring your cow or whatever, goat, there's a separate entrance for that. So yeah,
I remember seeing that. It was
yeah,
my first
and
time
it's
I
like
was "Oh, it's a
wood
vet's
carved
office." You're
and
like,
everything. Yeah, it's pretty
big
magical.
vet's door.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a garage door over there.
I'm up
Holy
to my elbows in horses today. I ain't got time for your crap.
You're just standing there in the doorway. I can't step out. One of them will kick me.
I'm stuck. You gotta come to me.
Oh, look at it. Here, Stacy, put my glasses on. All right, let's get in here. What's happening?
You called me about a dew claw?
The receptionist comes out to him and he's like, Jeffy moment again.
Yeah, basically.
It's just marked on your file.
Then an elephant backs out of the back room. He's just hanging.
Tell Jeffy I said hi.
His whole arm just in his blood hole. What do you need?
Express his glands yourself. Which I will never do.
And where did I put the ladder?
Gross.
Have you guys seen my watch? Oh,
Uh,
I really want to see like an African vet show. That would be amazing. Just the guy's
Oh,
hand
just out on like the
up
Serengeti,
just like up a giraffe.
Dr. Pole, but African.
Dr. Hole.
oh my God.
Safari edition.
I'm trying to find that. That could be the next thing. I mean, there's so much out there now. We need it,
we need
probably.
something to grab people's attention.
Yeah.
And go, wait, there's a what? There's
Yeah.
a show that does what?
I'm really into. I love selling Sunset for a lot of reasons, but it's like swanky. Like we're selling houses in L.A. and we're all hot and that kind of thing.
$5 million home.
Yeah. Oh, even more than that, like $40 million homes. But then there's a new one on Netflix that's like $1 million beach property or whatever, and it's the same thing. It's like a realty company trying to sell houses in like Florida, but everybody just looks like a little bit like maybe their parents were related. So it's sort of like not. It's like the complete opposite of selling Sunset. where
Wait, you already said Florida, so
yeah, basically, it's like, oh, you guys are reaching, man. We need some quality content because this is not
speaking
working.
Of reaching,
Dr. Pole.
That's in the vet's
Yeah.
office.
One of our vices is, I think we talked about this. We watch Below Deck on Bravo. I just saw an ad for. We're all aware that there's a show like the Housewives of New York City, Housewives of whatever. They're coming out with a Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Straight from the bottom of the barrel.
Oh, and
I bet
we
they're.
saw the ad for it, and we immediately got very inappropriate about
Yeah.
about what the content would be. But it was like, how can you take? Yeah, how can you take some of the most, no offense, Salt Lake City, boring people, and just be like, because you watch like that. Well, you watch like the Housewives of Atlanta, New Jersey, New York, and they're just swearing at each other, going at it, just hard, strong opinions. But like the Salt Lake City one was like, and then Bethany moved my bookmark. I know she did it. I know she moved.
Yeah.
I was on page 75, and I came back from using the restroom, and it was on page 76. And I know she moved it. And she will not be invited to the 5th hour.
How did that get through? Were they just like, we need more shows about rich white people? Was that a thing?
I bet they were like, so it'll seem boring, but it's the show that will result in a murder-suicide. We have a feeling.
Like a mass group murder-suicide.
Green light this baby and cross our fingers.
Cross our fingers for some devastation.
It is just like, I can't.
For some people snapping in horrible ways.
I can't imagine the wholesomeness of Salt Lake City being entertaining. It'd be like if they did like the Real House Husbands of the IT world. And it's like, what are you guys doing tonight? Oh, we're gonna play like Madden for 5 hours. I mean, you can watch us if you want, but hey, babe, I need some pizza rolls. Like that would be the show.
Sounds great.
It would be so boring. Or like if they ever tried to do like the IG crowd, but like realistically, we're like, we're gonna film you doing your job. Well, I'm just gonna be typing for about 5 hours. So
cool.
So speaking of the IT crowd and that whole thing, it's just so real. On one of my last days at my corporate job, I'm on the computer and I'm like doing my work, typing up some report, and then my mouse starts moving. Yeah. My mouse starts moving. Well, my window gets minimized, and something else get clicked into a program, and I like find the IT guy's number and I called him and I was like, "Dude, are you in my computer right now?" He goes, "Oh, I didn't think you'd notice. Like, well, you minimized my windows that I was literally working on right now." It's like, "Oh, sorry, dude." Like that is so disgustingly invasive that it's like, I know we set ourselves up for it. But have just a little bit of clandestine, ability in you.
No way.
Why would you want to get into a person's computer while they're working?
No, well, he honestly, in his defense, he probably didn't know. He went into work that day.
He didn't see my "I love cheese" Word document up.
No, he probably
exclamation point.
From his standpoint, he got a list that says, "I need you to punch into this computer name and update this software." And so he probably like it's a semi-automated process, so he probably just like clicked the button, and it brought up the screen. But he was probably only looking at your window and saw these other windows and was like, whatever, minimize, not even noticing that you were actively working on it. The best was we used to do screen share on stuff like that for repairs and updates or whatever, and if you plug in 2 keyboards, you can bypass them controlling it. So I would open up another like notepad and be like, "Hey, what are you doing?" You're gonna I saw you check that box. You're gonna uncheck that when you get done, right? Hey, I had like a bunch of emails open. Can you close those? It's just like leaving them notes about like, knock it off.
You think like an IT guy comes into work at like a factory, so I need you to pull the keystroke history and the browser history from this computer. It's like, "Oh, looking at porn again? Yeah, we think so. We need the evidence."
I definitely deleted all of my emails though before I left, which was like all of my sent stuff, just because I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna get rid of, like, obviously there's nothing bad. It was just literally just all "I love cheese." It was all.
Do you want the super scary part of that?
Well, you can recover all that stuff. Really. So yeah, no, it's not. It's definitely not. But
that was copied in triplicate.
Yeah, it was only sort of more of a, if you really want it, you can go get it, sort of thing. Yeah, I'm not just gonna leave 8,000 sent emails and deleted emails for you to go through if you really wanted to. Like, you're gonna have to go hunt for it and feel bad about yourself, like feel gross.
Out of Russia?
If you're listening, perhaps you can find the I Love Cheese emails.
Well, there's the whole social dilemma thing on Netflix that everyone's going nuts for,
Oh God.
and obviously I've not watched it, but it's
You're talking about Cutie, right?
it's all about how our privacy is being invaded at every second
Oh,
by our mobile devices.
Never mind. I wasn't talking about the pedophile film.
You mean that episode of the Clone Wars, that real adult one? Yeah. No, the social dilemma on Netflix. Yeah.
One night in the Zarlak pit.
When you said social dilemma, it didn't peg me that was the title. I thought you were talking about the one that blew up on social media.
Oh.
Everyone getting all worked up about the movie Cutie.
No,
Or the
I don't.
documentary Cutie.
Oh, that on Netflix?
Yeah.
Did they pull it already or no?
I would imagine so.
It's on there as of
Oh.
yesterday.
Oh.
I imagine it'll get
Well,
enough
all
uproar
mad
that
about
they'll be
it.
like, it's not worth it, and they'll just cut it loose.
It's a weird one to make it through if it's getting that much play.
Well, it's a weird one in general, man.
I don't know
Like,
what it's about.
Me neither.
I haven't watched it. I won't watch it
I haven't watched it.
twice.
Don't check my emails.
Well, no, it's kind of like my understanding of it at a very high level is that it's dealing with how young girls are getting over sexualized through social media, that they're doing more mature things and putting it on like TikTok and Instagram because the drive of like get the likes, get the clicks, get the follows. So they're
You can't be modest and boring if you want to get the
like
clicks. Careful.
their bar of social morality is dropping so low. And then this film was about that, but in order to show that, you have to you have to show it. So like, but I guess there's just these really long scenes of young girls acting maturely that even somebody should have been like, hey, maybe maybe cut,
Like black
maybe
out their
cut.
faces. What's
No, it's
the
full
approach?
faces.
It's just
So
that.
these
Is
these
it
are-
They're like,
is it documentary?
I believe it's documentary. I don't think it's fiction.
We've clearly done our research.
Well, but in fairness, I don't want to get on a list, so I'm not going to look too
Yeah,
deeply
that's true.
into
That's
this
a good point.
into this thing. I don't want to be like, oh, so you were really into this.
And the
cutie
thing is, like,
No.
I think because a lot of people's identity or their self-esteem and self-worth can be wrapped up in their social media presence, in the likes and followers they have. But I want to take this moment to say that you're looking at 4 guys who have incredibly high self-esteem who don't get any followers or likes. So it's great. You can make it in this world without it. You don't need it.
No, fair point.
We've got
Yeah,
4
no,
concurrent viewers. Just kidding. 1, and we feel great about ourselves. So
Yeah.
if you guys are out there, stop taking pictures of your booties or whatever it is that you're doing and
Yeah,
start a
it's-
podcast.
It's real bad, man. Like
Yeah.
the thing I wanted to talk to you, Matt, today. I sent you that weird text was like,
I sent you that weird text.
well, no. So, and you said it was a great comedy bit, but a small amount of social commentary.
Oh,
There's a thing that happened recently, in a very specific business realm. So there's a site called OnlyFans, which is dedicated towards.
Well, the post
Sex
office
workers.
has one now, so it's
Do they really?
mainstream.
Oh God. Okay. So it started out as like a way for, it was kind of like when Patreon kind of shit the bed with their international credit card processing. OnlyFans popped up as a way of like supporting an artist. So you can subscribe to a monthly thing, and if somebody makes music, you give them $5 a month, and you get access to the music or whatever. But then it just unfortunately naturally turned into women selling.
I wouldn't
models.
say unfortunately. It's
Well,
just
but they're-
business.
Right, but so this is where I'm going with this though, is that there's a lot of them. Like the content is available, it's there, whatever. It's on various price levels or whatever. But I'm going to use incident in air quotes. An incident happened recently where the star Bella Thorne, who was I think she's like ex-Disney.
Yeah, also on Shake It Up with Zendaya.
There you go. Right.
And
So,
Aquafina.
Bella Thorne got on OnlyFans, which being popular, she immediately had something like 2 million followers on OnlyFans, which is an unheard of amount of people. But then the thing you can do with OnlyFans is you can release private content, which is paid content, so people pay. So she started advertising, I'm going to release full nudes for $200. And people are messaging like, what are you, oh my God, no way. She's like, yep, full nudes, doing it. She made $1 million
Sheesh.
and then never released the content,
Oh.
which immediately means that OnlyFans had to immediately charge back $1 million because everyone's like, I paid. I mean, gross, but they're like, I
Right.
paid
The
$200.
product
I
that
didn't
was
get the
promised
product.
did not.
Mhm.
Right. So what it did though was that OnlyFans reacted appropriately, if you will, and they started capping all content creators, saying they cracked down on it, and it's really interesting.
Well,
'cause
I
there's-
believe that they stopped because they used to pay out weekly. And I think that they moved their payout to like monthly because of that. So basically, it was
Yeah,
holding a retainer. And so there are a ton of people on OnlyFans who that's their only job. And so
Correct.
getting paid monthly is way
didn't
different than
work.
getting paid
They
weekly.
weren't ready
Yeah.
for it. Yeah, absolutely. So but like I said, it's interesting though, because if you want to take a 10,000-foot step back, look at this. It's like, wait. So where am I trying to go with this? It's interesting that, well, no, but there was like this outcry of like, how dare she use her body to make money in a way like this? That's despicable. And they're like, well, yeah, but that's literally what you're doing. I don't
Mhm.
understand.
Mhm.
Like, are you mad because she made $1 million overnight? Is that really what you're mad about? Or because I don't understand. And it's just, like I said, it's interesting that then this kind of paired in with the movie Cutie, of it's like people are so disgusted, and it's not great. It is disgusting. The lower moral center of preteens acting extremely mature. Like, we just don't need it. Never needed it. But then there's this whole big cycle group of people where their only job is to act maturely and get paid for it. And then there's like this outcry of like, meh. I don't know. It's a not a fully formed argument, and I'm aware.
Well, but it's
of it.
it's a very double standardy thing.
I think
you
that's
know, and
where I'm going
yeah.
with it. Right? It's
Well,
like-
because it's saying, it's like, well, no, girls, you need to not look at the world that way. And yeah, young women are going, no, I am looking at the world in truth. Yes,
Yeah,
I see it. Here I am. I'm welcoming myself into this world.
yeah, I
People
just-
go,
I
oh,
just-
no.
I just paid for a house in cash, and it's that, like, I mean, they're making money. The people are paying for it. The fact that she was just like, I'm gonna join OnlyFans, and then immediately had like 2 million subscribers, which some OnlyFans are free and some are paid. So people are just even paying like a minimum $2 to subscribe. And then she made this advertisement, and $1 million overnight. And
I
then it was
don't
like, just
understand why she didn't release the picture. That's a lot of money.
Well, and
Or
that's,
even like a joke picture.
Yeah.
Or
Like
did
a
she do
bottle
it,
of Zima.
Did she do it like just as like to make a point or something? I wonder.
I'm not going to give her that much credit. I think
Yeah.
I think she was doing it like, I'm going to get this money and it's going to be no big deal. And then people were like, no, we want our money back. And then it created this huge cascade that,
This is
I mean-
becoming a legal issue. No, it's not just gotcha and you got some money.
right. And I'm not trying to disparage like the sex workers or the adult models, or I'm not trying to disparage any of that work at all. It's there, it's present, it's valid. I live in a state where prostitution is legal, so I really have no room to argue about it. But it's just interesting that they were like, boo, but please subscribe to my OnlyFans.
Right.
That's it. That's really the argument, is that,
Well, I heard about OnlyFans because she was a Australian race car driver, but it was like the whole thing of, she can't get a ride in a series where she was really making any money, and so she's like, screw it, I'm gonna join OnlyFans and I'm gonna sell porn. So I've seen all these headlines like she's making 10 times a week
absolutely.
what what she was making like in 3 months, being a race car driver. And it's just like, but that one was like, it was all like, yeah, go girl, like, yeah, just taking charge. And because they were, there was the undertone of she couldn't get a race seat in a bigger series where she could actually make money was because she was a woman. So that turned into like, well, okay, I'm gonna just
I'm
use
gonna
my
lead into
sexual.
this.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not trying to disparage the work.
Yeah.
It's there, and it's not that OnlyFans only does that. I mean, like I said, there are artists, there are like it's basically another version of Patreon, where if you find somebody that you support on OnlyFans, you can do it this way. It's just like Patreon, it's got an adult component to it.
We do have a Patreon as the Smoking Hot Nerds.
I know I'm the only.
I think you're the only subscriber. $4 a month, I think. I should check in on that. Are you still paying into it? Is it $5?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm gonna give you that back.
When did it start? How long has it been?
When we started this up,
mean,
so
6 months.
yeah, quite a
Yeah,
while.
we restarted it.
It's like $30. I mean, I figured we would just at some point you'd remember it's there and then use it for like a soundboard or materials or something. Or you can just pay yourself for doing all the work.
I wonder if I
Do you remember the password?
trying.
How many Zimas does that get you? $30.
That's a good point. We're not supporting any. Well, we know that. Let me see here. I found us. Let me see how much we've got in there. And Nico, I'll make sure that
If
we
it's
get
more
that
than
back to
30,
you.
don't say it out loud. Just nod.
Okay. Manage memberships. Here we go. Active.
He's waiting to take a drink.
All right. I don't have it here. Where is it? My profile.
That's not a Rusty Lincolns.
Oh wait, no, I
I
logged
think
in.
Will Forte needs to say that line.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to find it because I don't know where we are.
I'm sure it's being deposited into some account somewhere, attached like a PayPal or something.
Oh yeah, no, it's attached to my PayPal.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to find that.
It should be attached to R.
And if it's in your PayPal, you spent it on gear by now.
Definitely. No, but it doesn't deposit it into your account. It stays in like the Patreon account until you pull it
until you
out.
transfer it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know where it is, so we're gonna have to find it, and I'll get you
That's
that.
right.
I'll
It's
get you the
not too
cash
much.
back.
It's
Yeah. Just totally forgot about it.
Yeah, I get the little email at the first of the month, like, here's your receipt for $5. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Speaking of which, Matt,
Oh,
I'm
there it
still
is.
paying $14.95 for the Ready Demo website.
Are you paying for that?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, I keep getting about it. I just noticed the charge the other
Because
day.
I know I'm paying for the email, because I still get that charge.
So,
Oh
yeah,
man,
It's getting double booked.
we should. Well, the email is like separate for some reason. It's like $5 a
Okay.
mailbox. We should probably discuss if we want to keep that going or not.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I think
funny.
I've been paying for it for a couple of years now.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, we should probably look. Well, because the email I use for everything, not everything, but a lot of things.
Yeah, I don't
The
really
app-
want to kill the email, but
Yeah. We can kill the site, but we can keep the domain so that we can
Yeah.
keep the email. Yeah. All right. I'll look into that this week.
okay. I just noticed it.
Yeah.
But I
That's
think
funny.
you can set up email forwarding too, so that anything that you basically delete all the email accounts. So
Mhm.
transfer all the emails, delete all the accounts, and then put a rule in there that says anything that goes to star@readydemolition.com forward to, and then you can send it somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So you can auto forward.
Yeah.
It's a very
Gotcha.
cheap email
Yeah.
alternative. It's also how hackers do it.
Makes sense.
Fun fact.
So we've got a Patreon for Smoking Hot Nerds that was created in 2017. And that's clearly not it. So is it to the nerds or you send it to FOMO show?
Oh no, sorry, that's FOMO show.
That's what it is. I'm gonna
Yeah,
definitely
sorry.
give you that money back.
Have
That's
you done that podcast? at all?
crazy. Like 3.
You got into it and then the world shut down.
Yeah, that's
So
what it
it's like-
was. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was right in there. Oh,
So that's
yeah.
what I was thinking. It's probably like $30-$40. Whatever.
So-
Using it on gear for this will.
Well, so first of all, I'm
I'm
gonna tell you thank you for giving to the FOMO show, and I'm gonna keep on. I'm gonna keep on doing it at some point in time. Just need to get that going again. Let me see here. I gotta
We
find
just
this.
need the world to calm down a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop the world and let me off. Waylon Jennings.
Patrons. let's see here. We got patrons. Let me go to my relationship manager. Boy, this interface is terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's designed for managing over 100 memberships. So when you have less
Right.
than that, the interface really falls apart.
Yeah. $5 a month, 45 American dollars, Nico. Thank you. You're the greatest. Should I transfer that into... We have $2.50 in our Anchor account for all of the ads that we've put on our
Yeah, roll it into something.
Yeah.
The point was to take that money and use it towards stuff.
Beautiful.
So.
All right. You can cancel your membership if you want. I won't be offended. But I'm going to do more of them eventually. It'll happen. So,
Well, then you can get other people to
yeah.
picture.
Get
That's
new
true.
patrons.
Yeah. I could just do the next episode be sponsored by you and Zima. Yeah.
Except you're gonna have me on it, and then
Yeah.
it'll be
Yeah. Yeah.
like the most self-promotional.
This episode brought to you by Nick Hill and Zima.
This week, our special guest, Nick Hill. Oh,
For like 4
That
weeks
guy.
in a row. Yeah. Well, guys, anything else we got for the week, or should we wrap it up for the night?
let's
Yeah.
see. No movies out. Well,
Nope.
there are some movies out, but
Yeah.
I think October 1st-ish was when I started seeing the next big one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know if it's Wonder Woman or Top Gun. But I think through September, I don't think there's anything.
Mm-hmm.
Theaters are still closed here.
Mm-hmm.
I've been seeing the Tenet commercial that they started playing maybe within this last week, and it starts out and says, "The blockbuster is back." It's got like big words and explosions and crap, and I keep waiting for a chalupa to pop up, and for it to be one of those Taco Bell parody commercials.
Yeah.
Blockbusters, because it's exactly like that. It
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
never goes to Taco Bell angle. So if I had time,
Oh, that's great.
anyone
Tenet-
who wants to play with that can make
Yeah.
that idea come to life.
Is it Tenet tanking right now because like so many theaters aren't
That's
open?
just
I've
distribution.
seen so
Yeah.
many.
Yeah, it's just nothing open
They're
for people
like,
to see it.
watch it, please.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
money on this.
But
Well,
what's crazy, they
I
don't
said
need to
when I
make
watched
money
it.
right now.
Yeah, when I watched it, like I get why it's in theaters. I
Mhm.
fully get it, and I definitely want to probably see it again. But without the distribution, that movie's gonna struggle.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, I also love how, and I want to be like I called it. Mulan is tanking hard.
Really?
Yeah, well, we were
Because
like,
of the whole
hey,
Disney Plus thing.
People
and
need
yeah.
to do the Disney Premium, like Disney Plus
Plus
Premium,
$30.
and $30.
Mm-hmm.
So I know
So
people
yeah,
that.
unless you have a giant family.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that's it.
Yeah.
Yep. I had somebody who watched it, and that individual has 5 kids. So the premium plus the $30 is like that's a bargain.
Yeah, makes sense.
I
That's a
have,
Everyone
babysitter.
else goes, nope.
Yeah.
yeah.
Even
I
though
have-
they'll go to the movies and spend $80 by themselves because that's how. You know,
But it also might
But
just
at
mean that
home-
people just don't have interest in watching it. Like people are always like, "Why
Also
didn't it
that.
work? Why didn't it work?" It's like, well, maybe because no one wants to watch it, you know.
Yeah.
And is it just not something that's relevant? Like, do you need to make a live action version of every movie you've ever made? Like, no, you really don't. Even like Tenet's kind of like that too. Christopher Nolan has not been super relevant for quite a long time, and especially during a pandemic, and especially with absolutely no momentum behind movies right now. It's not a movie that people are just gonna like go crazy to go watch. It should,
well,
you know.
two, I think, where he's like, you know that thing I'm into? Here it is again.
Yeah,
You're like, oh.
yeah. Buildings blowing
So
up
you're-
in reverse. Yeah,
Yeah.
like Top Gun makes a lot of sense. Wonder Woman makes a lot of sense. I would say even push it off. Be like, I'm not going to release my movie until Top Gun and Wonder Woman come out, because then there's going to be some momentum in films at least by that point.
invigorated to the
Yeah.
theater.
They should have set on those. Well, one, I'm one of those people. I don't give a crap about Mulan, so I'm definitely not going to spend money.
It was
on it
out
to
of
watch
my
it.
Disney
They don't even
wheelhouse.
have the talking dragon in this.
Yeah, and it's like and like Tenet, they should have just sat
Stupid.
on it.
Yeah,
Like
for
they're
sure,
losing
for
money
sure.
trying to release it. You
Mhm.
might as well just sat on it till it seems like things have come back a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, like get the popcorn movies going like Top Gun
Hmm.
Can
and
they
Wonder
put
Woman.
it back in? Tenet.
Yeah,
reverse
just
it.
reverse
Goes
it.
back in time. Just
Yeah.
back up in there.
Because
Like,
what
no,
was
no,
his
guys,
last?
part of the presentation?
We're
We're gonna go in reverse.
gonna wrap it up.
I'm a genius. You guys know this. I'm a genius.
Was Dunkirk his last one? That
Uh,
did,
I'm trying to remember.
yeah.
I think so.
Because that's the thing. That's kind of the thing. It's like that's a rough follow up coming after Dunkirk.
Yeah.
So you want to like maybe should have held on to it. So yeah, if you can Inception that and just take that down a few levels and hide it away, hide it away
I
in
think maybe
the
he's like, oh, I guess I should
basement elevator. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I want to see Tenet. I am curious, but I think that's a good point. It's like he's like a big niche filmmaker, but he's still a niche filmmaker.
Yeah.
Because yeah, you're right. He always does a thing, and his thing is always like a bizarre, make you think kind of twist.
Mhm.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Mhm.
Yeah, some bend on science.
Yeah.
Our
Because if you
understanding of
take the Batman movie thing off the table, you're kind of left with Interstellar, Inception, things like that, which are big movies with big casts, but they weren't. They're not movies that we did Inception. We watched it for the podcast, and it holds up, but it's not a movie that we look back and are like, that's a movie that changed everything. It's just like, meh, it's all right.
Yeah,
It's good.
He
We
had
liked
to
it.
make the Batman movies in order to make these other movies.
Yeah, exactly. It would be like Aronofsky coming out with a movie right now. Like big Christmas release, Aronofsky's next film. Like, ugh, I don't want to watch that. Brazil too. Nope, not going to see that.
Nephew.
Yeah,
Father, the unanticipated sequel to Mother.
yeah, exactly. Purple Swan. Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I guess.
I think I'm good. Yeah, but I think that what Netflix was doing and what
To all of Prince's music.
I might watch that.
yeah, actually, that sounds pretty good.
Purple Rain the musical.
Darren, if you're listening, make Purple
Yeah.
Swan. Your 4 people
Purple
need it. I like what Netflix is doing with just releasing movies and show. It just makes sense. And then also Apple's doing a great job of teasing some things that are coming up as well. I just think that those HBO now and Apple, they're really upping the game right now, almost to the point where it's like, unless you really love going to the movies, it's going to be hard to get people out to the movies. Because by the time
Yes.
people go back to the movies, it's going to be at least a year for most people, if not more than the last time they've been to the movies. It's like, well, I already have, because of the pandemic, Apple, HBO, Netflix. I've got all the things, so I don't want to go spend $65, $70 to go to a movie with my spouse or whatever.
Well, even the I tweeted about it when I was trying to get tickets to Tenet. Like, the logistics of booking movie tickets now is such a nightmare because there's a rule about. So there was an existing rule on the site I often go to buy it where you couldn't reserve. This is for reserve seating. You couldn't reserve a seat with a gap in between. Like you couldn't actively be like, I want to put a space between me and a person. So that's existing validation rule is seat next to existing seat. Now with the pandemic stuff, it's like you can't put one seat in between between a party because it kicks the original validation of not having the one seat. You have to do 2 seats, but the math for people to seat ratio, they're never going to put people in those seats because the validation contradicts itself. And like, I tried to do it where there was like a bunch of seats here and a bunch of seats here, and there were 4 seats in the middle. And I was like, perfect. There'll be me and my party, and then 1 seat on the right and 1 seat on the left. And it was like, nope, can't have a space. All right, let me butt it right up next to the group on the right. Nope, gotta leave space for the pandemic.
Oh, it's annoying.
Like, then I don't know what you want me to do, man. So I ended up I had my phone and my computer and my iPad, and I reserved a bunch of seats, and then canceled the first one to create a gap.
Nice.
So I could reserve it.
Look
I was
at
like,
you.
I shouldn't have to do this. Like, I know how to do that. The average consumer, even like you're trying to take a family of 4, you basically have to find a block of 8 seats just so you can reserve the 4 in the middle, and
Yeah.
they're never gonna fill a theater like that.
Well, and movie theater ticket apps are historically not super user friendly, anyways. Any ticket app like Axis or Ticketmaster or anything like that, they're just so rough. And so this is just making it even more. I mean, why are the best apps in the world the best apps in the world? It's because they reduce all levels of friction. That's the whole point. And so when movie theaters are not taking the steps, what they should be doing is saying, this is how it works. You come with a party of 50, you come with a party of 1. It's going to be you. There's 2 seats available, 2 seats not available, 2 seats available, 2 seats not available. So you just have this string of seats,
Right.
and that's just how it is. So if you come with a party of 8, y'all are sitting in parties of 2. That's how it's working. You know, just
100%,
build it in.
100%.
Don't let the algorithm figure it out and then do what happened with you, where you're like going, you know,
hacking
full
like
on, Portlandia with like all of your monitors up and the numbers going, and you're just,
Is there like a suspense
Swordfish.
am I gonna get
camera
it?
spinning around you while you're doing it?
Swordfish, you gotta make it a perfect cube,
Yeah.
and then they send a girl in under the table to distract you, and then John Travolta's like, "Ooh, she's good, isn't she?"
I'm all right with that.
I want you to have like a
That happens.
headset and you're just talking to 3 of yourself. Like,
Get that seat next to me.
how
Get
are
that,
we coming on seat L4?
get that seat next to me.
It's like Mission Impossible, and then the
Get
elevator goes up.
L7 and we'll talk about L4. Okay.
Yeah.
There's like the
can't imagine-
snarky you, and the comedy you, and the serious you. I
One
love
of you
it.
has a leather jacket on, the cool guy.
Yeah,
I
can't
smell a web
imagine, like,
series.
trying to
Oh,
book
yeah.
those tickets, because when I went to the theater, there was nobody in like the original ticket booth area. So that means you had to do it all on your phone.
Right.
And it's like, so now you're basically, there's no way around. You can't just walk up to somebody and be like, just give me a seat, man.
Mhm.
Like just override this
Hey, man, if you could just
M17,
spare a
call it a
seat.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
like, or
that's
just,
crazy.
yeah, I'll just buy a ticket in the front of whatever works, and then I'm just gonna go sit back there.
Yeah.
And then you can kick me out. Like, figure it out, man.
Yeah. That's crazy, man.
It was
Not good.
bonkers. But I like your idea of just like, yeah, you do 2 seats, 2 seats.
Well,
2
that's
seats,
how
2
I
seats.
just assumed it was. When you started going on in the story, I was like, wait, what? Wait, what? No, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you let everybody decide, or let whatever you've dialed into the system decide? No. You just say, this is how it works now. Like, there's just spaces between seats. Because it makes a
Right,
lot of
so
sense.
Ultimately, and then if groups will just go, screw it, and they'll sit together and you go, okay, well, I guess that's
Yeah.
they're
Well, yeah, it's not
potted
that
up anyways.
They didn't remove the chairs. but
Right,
yeah,
right.
it's like you just
Hmm.
if you have a party of 8, you buy 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and then yeah, you're right. They're just gonna be like, wait,
Yeah.
these are all ours.
That would be so great, though, if they did. If they straight up came in with, like, drills and just pulled seats out.
Take the
So,
seats
yeah.
Slash them out.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, they'll figure it out. It's just
Mhm.
it's the
Yeah, it's got to be clunky, and who would want to release their movie in that clunky
Right.
phase? So those people that can go to a theater in those very limited states and regions, then they're screwed, even if they want
Yeah.
to try.
Because you're going to
it's
do it.
It's that thing of like, I want to give you my money, man. Help me,
Yeah.
help me
Help me
give you
help.
my money. Like
Mhm.
you going to the vet. I don't know this.
Mhm.
I want to give you my money to help my
Yes, I'm
dog.
having a Jeffy moment.
Get
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
arm out of that.
Out of that
It
elephant.
was funny too because
That's
this is
my
a
Jeffy.
tangential story, but we were up in Michigan, and we all know. I mean, we're from Colorado, so small towns strive on tourist business, right? If you have a little shop, your whole goal is to sell the crap in that little shop, because that's what you're there for. That's what you do.
Buy my crap.
Buy my crap. So I walked into this. It was like a.
Stupid.
I'm
Buy
not
it.
gonna
You dumb
call them
dummy.
out because A, they're not listening, and B, I can't remember their full title. But
A,
there's
they're
some
not-
little like surf shop, which is weird up in
Yeah.
like the Great Lakes, but it's a surf shop, and they had a hoodie sweatshirt, and it had a picture of Darth Vader holding a surfboard, and it said "May the surf be with you." And I was like, this is the worst, best thing I've ever seen. I need this sweatshirt.
That's so clunky.
So I'm
Yeah.
looking through. I'm
Yeah,
looking
go
through
get
the
it and
stuff.
put it on for us.
Well, no, that's the thing is I'm looking through the sizes and I see a large and I pick it up. I'm like, this must be like a triple pre-shrunk. It was a youth large.
Mhm.
I'm like, no, okay, so I'm looking in the back and I look up and I was like, do you guys have these in adult sizes? Nah, bro. Well, and I look at the price tag, it's like $45. I'm like, A, no youth is wearing a $45 sweatshirt, and B, are you not trying to take my money?
Right. That's
I want to
funny.
give you my stupid money for this stupid sweatshirt.
Well, he could have
Why
looked
do you-
in the back, but his hand was up an elephant's butt, so he didn't
That's
have time.
No, he's flat out. It's like, can these come in adult size? He's like, no, bro, youth only. Like, who?
Good
What-
story.
What little youth is walking in here this is an adult sweatshirt. You
No, he was judging you pretty hard. That's what that
Oh, he's
was.
too stoned to know what the hell I was doing. But yeah, I was just like,
He
your
does
whole goal-
surfy with you.
Sorry, man.
Oh.
I got my knuckles in an armadillo.
It was a pretty rad
And
sweatshirt,
she
but I was
is
like,
pregnant.
I was being tight with my wallet, but I was like, I want to give you $45
Right.
for this.
Right.
And they're like, well, it's only in youth, man. Like, come on.
You buy it and then cut out the part you like and then glue it on a big shirt. Problem solved.
All right,
I wish I
Mr.
was-
Dilla.
I wish I was
Here we
working.
go.
And I was trying to find like a youth, like a fat American youth version, triple XL. Didn't have it.
It reminds me of the time that Brian came to Fort Morgan in March.
That was
And
April.
it was April,
Yeah.
and we were going to shoot a little thing, and it was you
April
came
in
from LA.
Colorado versus April in LA.
Yeah, and I didn't bring like a coat, and it got cold here, like really cold. So
in the morning.
super cold in the morning. So we went to Walmart, and
As
we were
you
looking around for coats, and there's nothing to be found. And I found a lady, and I was like, "Hey, where are the winter coats?" And sorry for the people listening only, but this is the face that she gave me. Complete befuddlement. And she goes, "We don't have those." And I was like, "Okay,
You're like,
gotcha."
"Coats? You don't have
So, yeah,
coats?"
same thing. Went to the sporting goods store where there's a sporting goods store here. I was like, "Hey, do you guys have any winter coats?" And he goes, "Same look." And he just goes, maybe by the clearance area."
Yeah.
And that's what we
Lost
ended
and
up doing
found.
was getting something, at the clearance area.
You
Yeah.
have a DeLorean?
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to go back in
Well,
time.
no, yeah, it's like a sporting goods store,
Armadillo.
Yeah.
and it was like they were like skiing, like track jackets. They were
Yeah.
this brand called Spider, but like it was
It's a
on
cool
clearance,
jacket.
But yeah, I still have it. It's hanging. That's like my favorite jacket. I love that jacket.
Mhm.
It was like the best happiest accident ever. But
It
it
shouldn't
was
have
on
been that hard.
clearance.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well,
shouldn't have
that's
been
the thing. Well, first of all, my thought process was, I looked at the weather and at noon on, it was gonna be mid 70s. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
cool, perfect. Not thinking there's gonna be 40 in the freaking
Mhm.
mornings, but anyway. So yeah, in the clearance section, but because these are like ski jackets, the jacket was still $100 in the clearance section, and I bought like a hat and gloves that was really like bougie as well. So I ended up spending like $200 and something just so
Oh.
I didn't freeze my ass off.
Brutal for like 4 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the other part was like when we were at Walmart, it's like, "Do you have coats?" No, and it's like, "Okay, well, do you have like sweatshirts or hoodies?" And he goes, "No, it's April."
Oh, that's.
Yeah.
It's April. That was
Like,
the reason.
Spring, dude.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
It's
that
like, it's not
time
winter.
of year when I was growing up, when I was like a high schooler and into college even, and I went to college in Alamosa, which is very high altitude. It's like 7,000 feet
Mhm.
in
Yeah.
this high altitude valley, and I would be like, "It's March. I'm wearing shorts." I'd be one of those idiots, and it would be
Yeah.
like 30.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and in the sporting goods store, they were making fun of me because they gave Matt that look, and they were just like, "Why? Why do you need
Yeah.
that?" I was like, I was like, "I'm from Los Angeles.
It
I'm
was
cold, man." And they were like openly making fun of me. It's like,
funny. Mhm.
can you just swipe my card and so we can leave? And
But see, that was part of the
city
reason
boy.
why I
Yeah.
brought this story up, because it was one of those things where, like, I worked in the restaurant business for so long from when I was really young, and the whole point is is when a person says, "Do you have XYZ?" You kind of like you don't necessarily always upsell, but you have a means to pivot them into something that you do have, and make sure that you get some version of a sale. So when you go into Walmart and you're like, "Do you guys have coats?" Instead of saying it's April, you should say, "Well, no, the winter coats are out, but let me show you this." What we do have. Let me show you at least like the long underwear or something. Yeah.
I would have bought long johns or a thermal undershirt
or
or
here's a
something.
blanket. Yeah, whatever. A candle, something to keep you warm. So that was just funny. Yeah.
Like, here's lighters. You
Here's
can
a
set
bunch of
yourself on
matches.
fire.
Yeah.
If you get like 30 of these, how many hands do you have? How many thumbs?
Because I've only got one, and it's in an armadillo.
Oh, do you have any thumbs not in squirrels right now?
That's what we do here. Hands in
Who's got
things.
2 thumbs and loves squirrels?
He's also got 2 squirrels. It's not a hat. It's a live squirrel.
All this
Yeah,
ridiculousness.
that's good. All right, folks. Thank you for listening to
What are we
Nerds After
doing?
Dark. Next
What are we
week,
filling in on next
we
week?
will
Yeah,
be
what are we-
doing
Well, so here's the thing.
Brazil? Question mark?
I'm going to be a train wreck next week as well.
You know, actually,
So,
we might have to revisit. Either way, I am doing. I've got a job in the Aspen area. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. No, Tuesday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Okay.
So I may not even
I'll
be
do that.
available, so we may have to skip next week.
Just take a
If you
week
guys are
off.
okay with that, yeah. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
That means I'm gonna forget Brazil and I might have to watch it again.
Might have to.
No.
Actually, you know what my gig is? It's for a veterinarian. Isn't that great?
oh, you
Ask
got
him
some
how
nice
far he
things.
can get his arm up there.
Yeah. It's going to be very
got any
documentary
giraffe?
style. Yeah.
A 4-day shoot for a
I'm not looking
veterinarian.
for judgment, just a yes or no. Do you have a giraffe?
Well, it's like a 6-hour drive. So I'm driving up Tuesday and then shooting Wednesday, Thursday, and then driving back Friday. So, yeah. Yeah, so we could theoretically do Friday night if we decide we want to, but if
If he's
not.
if we're, I'd rather not push it because then we're just
Yeah.
gonna have bad content.
Friday,
a week
like at the university. Did you say the veterinarian is in Aspen, though?
I did, kind of, yeah. Yeah. It's in the Aspen area. Yeah.
It's
In the vicinity.
region.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh god.
I'll make sure to capture that good giraffe content.
Oh, please do.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, should I bring some alpacas? Yeah.
If you know what
Let
I
me know what I need to bring
mean.
other than gear.
plenty of C-stands. So, all right, folks, thank you for listening. Thank you for all of you who are on YouTube and Facebook watching us. It means a
And
lot
Mob
to us.
Crush
And Mob Crush
and our
and
Twitch streamer.
on Twitch, our one Twitch streamer that seems to be quite into us.
We can
And-
say that that's not one of us.
It's definitely one of us.
I'm not on Twitch.
There's like
Yeah.
an admin.
It's me. Yeah.
I don't know what those words
Oh,
mean.
well.
So.
I love the podcast. I will like it and subscribe to it. And if you want to like it and subscribe to it, like it and subscribe to it on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Thank you for listening. We will see you not next week, but the week after.